Welcome to Shredder Fanfic. Like, subscribe, and hype video. Join members to gain early access to new videos. The main character, after dying in his previous life, he gets reborn as Beerus from Dragon Ball, one of the 12 gods of destruction. He shocks the Avengers at the start. What will Beerus do inside of Marvel?
Watch. From farther away, I said. He actually chuckled, a low, amused sound. From farther away. I turned away from him. Good. I began to descend toward Earth. The atmosphere burned faintly against my aura before giving way to cool air. Below, the city was still awake, but calmer. I heard the Watcher's voice one last time in my mind. Beerus. I stopped, looking up. What? He met my gaze across the distance without moving. Thank you. I blinked once. For what? For proving that action without greed can exist, he said. I stared at him. Don't get sentimental. I'll erase you. He smiled. Then he faded from sight. Not by teleportation, by withdrawing his presence far beyond mortal reach. Only a thin thread of awareness remained, like a bell waiting to be rung. I dropped back toward Stark Tower. Tony was on the balcony, phone in hand, talking to someone. When he saw me, he hung up. So, did you just punch God? No, I said. I punched the one who watches God. He raised an eyebrow. You actually met him? Yes, I said. He was watching us. Tony groaned. Great. Cosmic peeping toms. Just what we needed. I told him to warn me when something big appears, I said. Tony blinked. You did what? He will inform me, I said. Before things grow messy. Tony let out a low whistle. You got the cosmic narrator to work for you. He's not working for me, I said. He's doing what he already does. For me. That's called working for you, Tony said. I ignored him and walked inside. Food. He laughed. You threaten omniversal beings and then ask for lunch. I love it. I wasn't asking, I said. Right. Ordering. Got it, he said, still smiling. He made the call. Pepper sent up more food. I sat, eating calmly. My mind was settled now. Dormammu was quiet. Thanos was cautious. The Watcher was watching me from far, far away. This universe had learned its place. For now. Chapter 17, The Ones Above Realms. The morning over New York was grey when I decided I had eaten enough for the day. The tower's air smelled of coffee, metal, and too many human projects being built at the same time. Tony was in his lab again, music playing, welding something into place that he thought would make him survive cosmic battles. It wouldn't, but I let him work. My thoughts weren't on Earth. Dormammu had listened. Thanos had listened. The Watcher had listened. That was three beings, three powers that normally did not bow, acknowledging that I stood above this universe's usual chain of escalation. That meant there was only one question left. How high did this universe go? I had seen gods. I had seen demons. I had seen cosmic tyrants. But every universe, even weak ones, had judges. Those who claimed to maintain balance. Those who decided which timelines stood and which ones fell. I wanted to know if this world's highest authorities would interfere with me. There was only one being in this reality who knew all of it from memory and not hearsay. Odin. Old, tired, but still the keeper of stories no mortal had earned. I rose from the couch. I'm leaving. Tony looked up from his bench, visor pushed up on his head. Another dimension trip. Asgard, I said. I'm going to ask Odin about the beings above him. He blinked. There are things above Odin. Yes, I said. Many. He sighed. Right. Of course there are. Try not to pick a fight with someone who can erase reality. I just restocked the fridge. I'll do as I please, I said. He pointed the welder at me. I know. I flew out of the tower, the wind rushing past me. The sky broke away, then the planet, then the stars. I cut through space without slowing, eyes locked ahead. Asgard's golden light appeared soon after. I landed on the Bifrost. Heimdall stood where he always did, eyes steady, body relaxed but alert. He turned slightly as I approached. Lord Beerus. You return again. I need information, I said. From the Alfather, he asked. Yes, I said. He nodded and stepped aside. He is in the throne hall. His strength has recovered since your last visit. It should, I said. I struck him hard. Heimdall smiled faintly. Asgard remembers it. I didn't answer. I walked across the bridge and into the palace. The halls were busy. Servants moved faster when they saw me. Warriors stopped sparring and straightened. My steps were slow, soft, controlled. The throne room doors opened. Odin sat on his high seat, staff in hand, wearing his gold armor today. Thor stood to the side speaking with two Einherjar. When he saw me, he grinned broadly. Beerus! Thor called. Back so soon? Yes, I said. Your realm still amuses me. Odin's gaze sharpened. When a god of destruction is amused, we should be cautious. I walked to the center of the hall and stopped, looking straight up at him. I came for answers. Odin adjusted his grip on Gungnir. About what? About the ones above you, I said. Above Asgard. Above the 9 realms. Above even your father's knowledge. I want to know what this universe calls its judges. Thor frowned. Judges. Odin's expression shifted. Not to fear. To seriousness. Why do you seek them? Because I've already met your enemies, I said. And I've already made them listen. I want to know if there's anyone I should consider before I erase what irritates me. Thor let out a low breath. You talk like reality is a plate you can flip. It is, I said. Odin considered me for a long moment. Then he looked at the guards. Leave us. The Einherjar bowed and exited. The doors shut behind them. The hall grew quiet. Only the 3 of us remained. Odin rose slowly from the throne and walked down the steps until he stood closer, eye level almost with me. You seek knowledge that even Asgard only whispers, he said quietly. I don't whisper, I said. I ask. He nodded slowly. Then you will have it. But understand what you ask about does not belong to the 9 realms. It belongs to the structure that binds them. I already know that, I said. He motioned for us to walk. We moved through a side corridor, one filled with old murals and reliefs. They showed battles from long ago, frozen giants, dark elves, demons. But as we reached the deeper part of the hall, the images changed. No more Asgard. No more mortal wars. Instead, there were depictions of faceless figures holding spheres, carrying scales, watching stars. Thor glanced around with visible curiosity. I have not walked this hall before. Odin's tone was calm. You were not yet ready. I am, I said. Yes, Odin agreed. We stopped in front of the last mural. It showed a 3-faced being, holding nothing, watching everything. Thinner than the Celestials. More still. Odin touched the wall lightly. We call them the judges. The arbiters. The ones who can render a reality unworthy. Living tribunal, I said. Odin looked at me with mild surprise. You know the name. I've heard the Watcher think it, I said. He didn't say it, but he thought it. Odin sighed quietly. Then he is still doing his work. Thor crossed his arms. Father, who is this tribunal? Odin looked at him. A being who exists to decide. Even gods answer to it. I stared at him. Do I? Odin met my eyes, unflinching. In truth, Beerus? I do not know. You are not born of this reality. You sit outside its chain. You do not operate under the Alfather, the Norns, or the cosmic design. You are, detached. Thor looked between us. So even the tribunal may not touch him. Perhaps, Odin said. Or perhaps your presence here will draw its attention. I folded my arms. Has it ever come to this universe? Yes, Odin said. A long time ago. Before even my father's father. When a sorcerer nearly cracked the barrier between realms and the energies of the astral plane poured uncontrolled. The tribunal appeared. The breach was closed. The sorcerer's work was erased. All records, all artifacts, gone. Not by Asgard. By the judge. I absorbed that. So it can erase history. It can erase the need for history, Odin said. Thor's brows knitted. But if it could simply erase things, why does it not stop men like Thanos? Or Dormammu? Odin looked at him evenly. Because it does not police small disputes. It addresses imbalance. And you, son, even at your worst, do not threaten the structure of existence. I stepped closer. But I might. Yes, Odin said simply. We walked further down the corridor. At the end, a circular chamber waited. Its ceiling was open to the Asgardian sky. Runes glowed in circles across the floor older than Odin. He gestured toward the center. This is the Hall of Remembering, he said. From here I see echoes of what has been and what might be. I do not command the high beings, but I have looked upon them. I stepped into the circle. The runes reacted to my presence, flaring brighter. Magic rolled over me. I let it. Odin raised his staff. You wish to know if this living tribunal will come for you? Yes, I said. He closed his eye and breathed. The runes rose from the floor like dust suspended in water. Images formed, universes layered over one another, then pulled apart. Beings of light, celestials moving planets, eternity stretching across stars. And above, always above, the faceless one, judging. Its three faces turned in different directions, all seeing, never sleeping. Thor stared, eyes wide. I have never seen this. You were not meant to, Odin said. But times change. I looked at the projection. Can it erase me? Odin shook his head slowly. Not easily. You are not an element of this reality's construction. To erase you, it would need cause. A high cause. Even then, it would need to decide you fall within its authority. So it might try, I said. It might monitor, Odin corrected. But more likely, it will watch for whether your destruction creates instability. As long as your erasures do not unmake the fabric, it may not interfere. I frowned slightly. Define instability. If you erase an entire dimension that connects to 5 others, the tribunal may act. If you erase a universe, it will act. If you destroy the time stream, it will act. If you unmake an infinity stone, it may act. But if you destroy armies, gods, realms lower than its scale, it will watch. Quietly. That was acceptable. I nodded once. So as long as I limit myself to what I already do, it won't bother me. Odin watched me closely. As long as you do not try to replace it. Thor let out a low breath. You think he would? If he was bored enough, Odin said. I didn't deny it. I like freedom. I like deciding. If something stands above me, I want to know how far above. Odin considered that. There are few above you, Beerus. Very few. Even fewer that would choose to cross into this reality just to face you. The tribunal is not prideful. It does not fight to prove strength. It fights to restore alignment. You are a foreign object. Unaligned, but not destabilizing. Good, I said. Because I don't want to waste time with a judge. Thor chuckled. You'd probably try to destroy it. I would, I said. Odin looked at me. If you did that, Beerus, others would come. I met his gaze. Which others? The cosmic powers that sit beside the tribunal, he said. Oblivion. Infinity. Eternity. They are the shape of existence, not rulers. They would react if the tribunal fell. And if they react, the entire multiverse shakes. I nodded, taking it in. So I won't destroy it. Unless it annoys me. Odin smiled faintly at that. That is the best compromise we can expect. Thor rubbed the back of his neck. So, basically, as long as Beerus doesn't blow up realities, we're fine. Yes, Odin said. Thor grinned. Then we're not fine. I looked at him. You sound worried. He laughed. You erase worlds like I break goblets. It's impressive. It's natural, I said. Odin lowered his staff, letting the runes settle back into the floor. There is something else you should know. I looked at him. Speak. The tribunal does not always act alone. Sometimes, it sends warnings through lesser agents. Ones that look like mortal sorcerers. Ones that bear marks of high judgment. If one such being appears on Earth to tell you to stop, understand, that message does not come from a mortal council. It comes from beyond. I'll erase the messenger, I said. Odin sighed. I expected that answer. Thor smiled. So did I. I looked around the chamber. You've never met it directly. No, Odin said. No Asgardian has. Even when my father tried to peer beyond, he was denied. We were told simply, rule your realms. Do not reach higher. I raised an eyebrow. And yet you did. You fought across the cosmos. You conquered with Hela. You sealed her. You collected artifacts. You meddled. He nodded once. I did. And I was watched. But I did not fracture reality. So I was not judged. I thought about that for a moment. Then I spoke again. Then I will continue to do as I please. You will inform me if you sense a presence beyond your level approaching. Odin nodded slowly. I will. Thor blinked. You can sense that. I can, Odin said. To a point. I turned toward the exit. Good. I don't like surprises. Thor walked beside me as we left the hall. You really plan to stay in this universe long? For a while, I said. Your world is noisy. I like it. He laughed. I suppose that's a compliment. It is, I said. We stepped back into the main throne room. The guards straightened. The palace air was warm again, less charged. Odin returned to his throne. Lord Beerus, he said, your presence has forced Asgard to remember what sits above us. For that, you have my respect. I looked at him. I didn't come for respect. I came for information. And you have it, he said. I nodded once. Then I'll go. Thor stepped forward. Come back again. We can spar. You're still too weak, I said. He grinned. I'll get there. You won't, I said, but there was the smallest hint of approval in my tone. I walked out onto the balcony and rose into the sky. Asgard shrank beneath me, the golden city glowing under its endless day. I left it behind and crossed space again. Earth appeared in moments. I descended toward Stark Tower. Tony was on the balcony again, talking to Pepper. He looked up. So. You talked to the Alfather? Yes, I said. And? I know who not to erase, I said. He blinked. That sounds important. It is, I said. Now bring food. Pepper laughed softly. I'll have it sent up. I sat on the couch, satisfied. I knew now where I stood in this universe's order. High enough to do as I pleased. High enough to make even cosmic tyrants listen. High enough that only the very top would bother with me and they wouldn't, as long as I didn't overturn their table. That was fine. I didn't want their table. I just wanted my meals. Chapter 18, Cull the Titan's Hand. I knew Thanos wouldn't stop. He said he would hold off. He said he would not touch Earth while I watched it. He meant it. But I also knew how beings like him worked. He would not walk into the fight alone. He would send his servants, test the planet, weaken it quietly, take assets, stones, and people, and only then move. I didn't want them getting close. I sat in Stark's tower, legs crossed, arms resting on the couch. The sun was moving across the sky, casting long shadows into the room. Tony was in front of a hologram, updating something in the Avengers database. I spoke without looking at him. Thanos will send his generals. He glanced up. You mean he's not coming himself? Not yet, I said. He's patient. He'll use intermediaries. They call themselves his children. Tony's mouth tightened. And I assume they're not the cute kind. No, I said. They are strong. They're used to killing. Your world is not ready for them. He turned more fully toward me, interest piqued. So what's the plan? I will find them and destroy them, I said. He blinked. Just like that? Yes, I said. He sighed. You make it sound so easy. It is, I said. He hesitated. You need any help? Intel? Satellite eyes. I don't need your help, I said. But you can watch if you want. It might be educational. He grinned faintly. I'll tell Fury to grab popcorn. I stood, tail flicking once. I won't take long. He pointed. Try not to bring any of them back here. I won't, I said. I stepped out through the balcony, rose into the sky, and left Earth behind again. The planet grew small, then vanished behind the cloud of space. I reached out with my senses. Thanos' energy was distinct, cold, heavy, disciplined. It was easy to follow it across the void. Around it, smaller signatures clustered. They were not as strong, but they each had their own sharpness. Clever. Agile. Brutal. I tracked one of them first. It moved at the edge of a system not far from Earth, aboard a sleek ship of black metal. It was scouting. Watching. Waiting for the order. I appeared next to it in space. The ship was wedge-shaped, with pointed wings at the sides, covered in lines of violet light. I floated in front of the viewport and stared in. The crew saw me instantly. Panicked. Shouted. I heard their voices through space easily. Contact. It's him. Inform moi. I didn't wait. I phased straight through the hull and into the main chamber. The interior was dim, lit by purple sources. Several soldiers' Chitauri variants and armored attendants stood at stations. At the center of the room, long-limbed, robed, pale, stood Ebony Maw. His hands were clasped behind his back. He didn't flinch when I entered. "So," he said in his calm, too smooth voice. "The god arrives." I looked at him. "You were on your way to Earth." He smiled faintly. "We scout before we strike. The great Titan is patient." "He sent you," I said. "He sent us to confirm what the Mad Titan already believes," Ma said. "That Earth is vulnerable. That its stones lie unguarded. That its gods are." I raised a hand. "Enough." He paused, head tilting slightly. "You interrupt." "You talk too much," I said. "You all do." The soldiers raised their weapons. I didn't bother to face them. A small pulse of power spread outward from me. Every soldier on the deck disintegrated quiet, instant, effortless. Dust floated in the low gravity for a moment and then was pulled away by the air systems. Ebony Maw blinked once, his composure strained for the first time. "Impressive." "You're not," I said. He straightened, trying to regain his tone. "You do realize, Destruction God, that killing me does not stop him." "I know," I said. "But it stops you." His hands lifted, fingers spreading. The metal walls of the ship screeched and folded inward like they were alive. Dozens of large steel plates ripped from the ceiling and rushed at me from every direction, each shaped into spears. I stood still. As they reached me, I let my aura flare just enough. Every piece of metal melted to nothing before it touched me. The air filled with the smell of scorched alloy. Ebony Maw dropped his hands. "He was right about you." "He was," I said. I appeared in front of him in an instant. His eyes widened. I placed 2 fingers on his forehead. His skin was cold. "You won't reach my planet." He spoke quietly, even as he realized it was done. "He will come anyway." "I'll deal with him when he does," I said. I released Hawkeye. He vanished without a scream, without a mark. Just gone. The ship around us groaned. Without its commander, it drifted off course. I reached out and crushed the entire vessel with a casual clench of my hand. It folded in on itself like tin, then turned to dust. The particles floated away into space. 1. But Thanos didn't send only one. I closed my eyes and reached further. I felt her next Proxima Midnight. Her energy was sharp, clean, aggressive. She was in transit, leading a small assault group. Their destination was not Earth. Not yet. They were detoring to a Kree relay station to seize information on Earth's defenses. I appeared in front of their ship too. This one was smaller, built for speed. It tried to fire. I let the blasts pass through me. They were weak. I entered the ship the same way, stepping through the hull without damage. Proxima stood in the middle of the central chamber, spear in hand, armor polished, horns glinting under the light. She was flanked by a massive brute Cull Obsidian and several Outriders. She raised her weapon, expression calm but ready. "So the destroyer of the Chitauri fleet finds us." "Yes," I said. Cull Obsidian let out a low snarl. He lifted his huge hammer axe, eager. Proxima twirled her spear once. "You made the Titan, reconsider his timeline." "He should reconsider more," I said. She smirked faintly. "You won't stop him." "I will," I said. She didn't waste time. She hurled her spear with perfect precision. It flew so fast it tore the air in the chamber. It was enchanted, laced with foreign cosmic energy, designed to pierce force fields and armor. I caught it between 2 fingers. She raised an eyebrow. "I see." Cull roared and charged. His steps shook the deck. He swung his massive weapon down at me with force enough to splinter mountains. I reached up lazily and blocked it with my palm. The shock made the ship groan. I looked up at him. "You're not interesting." I snapped the weapon in half. He stared at me in shock. I flicked my wrist. The air around him bent, and he was thrown backward through 3 solid bulkheads. The outriders leapt at me, claws extended, mouths open. I erased them all in one soft wave. Proxima moved smoothly, her spear appearing back in her hand. She fought well closer to Asgardian elites than to common soldiers. She darted forward, striking for joints, throat and heart. Her form was good. Her eyes stayed on my center. She was focused, unafraid. I let her land a hit. The spear point struck my arm and stopped, unable to pierce. Sparks flew. She pushed harder, gritting her teeth. "Thanos said even your skin bends to wool." "He was wrong," I said. I grabbed the spear and squeezed. It cracked. She jumped back, rolling to gain distance. I was already behind her. I struck her lightly in the back with the edge of my hand. She flew into the wall, denting it. She stood again, wiping blood from her mouth. Her eyes burned with anger but not panic. "You won't kill him," she said. "You can't. He has purpose." "I don't care about his purpose," I said. She lunged again, fast as she could. I grew bored. I appeared in front of her and placed my palm on her face. Hawkeye. Her body dissolved instantly, leaving her armor to fall empty to the ground. Coal Obsidian roared again from the back of the ship, emerging through the broken bulkheads, furious. He rushed me, fists swinging. I caught one fist and squeezed. Bones cracked. His roar turned to a howl. "Go back to dust," I said. He vanished too. The ship was silent. I erased it as well, not wanting the beacon to reach the main fleet. 2. There were more. I felt Corvus Glaive far across space, aboard a larger command vessel. He was not heading toward Earth yet. He was speaking to Thanos through a projection, reporting on me. I didn't like that. I moved again. This ship was guarded more heavily. Dozens of escort fighters flew around it. I ignored them. I flew through the outer wall and into the central throne chamber. Thanos' form flickered in front of Corvus, projected large, voice steady. "You will not engage him. You will observe. Report. Do not." He saw me. The projection looked straight at me. "Beerus," he said. "Thanos," I said. Corvus spun, glaive in hand. He wore his hooded armor, his expression composed and cruel. "You move quickly." "I do," I said. Thanos' image remained. "I told you not to engage him, Corvus." "I wasn't going to," Corvus said. "I was going to watch." "You're not going to do anything," I said. "You're going to disappear." Corvus narrowed his eyes. "If you kill me, others will come." "I know," I said. He spun the glaive. "Then this is a wasted act." "No," I said. "This is convenience." He lunged. His weapon was sharp, enchanted to cut through almost anything. It sliced through the reinforced floor like cloth. He went for my neck, then my side, then my legs. I dodged casually. When his weapon passed near me, I grabbed the shaft and snapped it in half. His eyes widened. "That glaive was fragile," I said. I struck him once in the chest. He coughed blood and dropped to one knee. I placed my finger against his forehead for the 3rd time today. "You won't touch Earth." He glared up at me. "You cannot guard it forever." "I don't need to," I said. I erased him. The projection of Thanos dimmed and then strengthened. He didn't look angry. Only thoughtful. You will hunt every soldier I send. Yes, I said. He inclined his head slightly. That will cost you time. I have time, I said. He regarded me in silence. Then I will have to come myself sooner than I intended. Do that, I said. I'll be waiting. The projection vanished. I looked around the ship. The crew was frozen in fear. I lifted my hand, erased the engines, then the hull, then the rest of the ship. The dust scattered into the void. 3. I hovered in space for a moment, senses spread wide. There was no more movement from Thanos' side toward Earth. The remaining elements of his Black Order were either deep in his main fleet or on assignments far from this galaxy. He hadn't committed the rest yet. Good. I turned and flew back toward Earth. The flight was brief. I broke through the atmosphere and descended toward New York again. I landed on the balcony. Tony was there, suit open, eyes on a screen. I saw it, he said immediately. All the blips just vanished. 3 separate locations. All wiped. Yes, I said. He let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. So that was them, huh? His best. Some of them, I said. He still has reserves. But I took his hands away. Tony sat down, rubbing his face. I can't decide if I feel safer or more terrified. You should feel safer, I said. I just killed beings that would have slaughtered your people. He nodded. Yeah. I know. Thanks. I looked at him. I didn't do it for you. He smirked. You keep saying that. I keep hearing I did it for me. That's because I did, I said. He laughed quietly. Well, either way, that's 3 less problems for us. I walked into the living room and sat. Tell Fury to stop panicking. Thanos won't send anyone small now. He'll have to come himself. Right, Tony said, tapping his wrist device. Hey, Cyclops. Don't call him that, I said. Tony grinned. I like upsetting him. I ignored him and reached for the plate Pepper had left. It had roasted chicken, vegetables, and some dessert. I began eating. The food was warm and seasoned well. I nodded faintly. Acceptable. Tony's call with Fury connected. I could hear the director's irritated voice. What happened? We lost 3 unidentified contacts in deep space. I'll make it simple, Tony said. Beerus happened. There was a pause. He destroyed them. Yeah, Tony said. In, like, a minute. Another pause. Tell him, good work. Tony smirked. You tell him yourself. He turned the screen toward me. Fury's one eye stared at me through the hologram. You really just took out 3 of the Titan's top assets. Yes, I said. They were headed for your sector. I didn't like that. Fury nodded slowly. We appreciate it. You should, I said. He exhaled. I guess that means Thanos will stop using intermediaries. Yes, I said. He'll have to come. Or use something stronger. Fury frowned. Can we win? You can't, I said. But I can. Fury's jaw tightened, but he didn't argue. Then let me know when it happens. I'll know before you, I said. The call ended. Tony leaned back. You just declared war on a purple god. I declared convenience, I said. He laughed. You're incredible. I know, I said. I finished my meal and stood. I'll rest. Tony saluted lazily. Sleep well, destroyer of space henchmen. I walked to my room and lay down, hands behind my head. The tower hummed quietly around me. Earth was safe for now. Thanos would have to move earlier, harder, and closer. That was good. It made things less boring. Chapter 19, The Stone of Ruin. I was resting. The tower was quiet, the city buzzing underneath like it always did. Tony was downstairs arguing with Fury over secure channels about improved planetary defenses and how many missiles they would need if an alien fleet decided to pop in again. I barely listened. Then I felt it. Not a weak flare. Not a stray spell. Not a human weapon test. This was a clean, heavy surge of raw cosmic force, released all at once with no care for anything around it. It burned violet and white at the same time, then folded back into itself. The Power Stone. I sat up at once. My tail twitched once with annoyance. I knew what had happened. Thanos had made his move again. He had taken what the Nova Corps could not hold forever. That meant Xandar was in danger, or already gone. I stood and walked out to the balcony. Tony looked up from below, hearing the door. "You heading out?" "Yes," I said. He frowned. "Big spike." "Thanos has the Power Stone," I said. "He's testing it." Tony cursed under his breath. "Those morons on Xandar actually lost it." "He took it," I said. "I'm going to him now." "You need backup," he said, even though he knew the answer. "No," I said. "Keep your world alive." He nodded, expression tense. "Bring me back data. I want to know what that thing can actually do." "I'll show you if it's still intact," I said. I flew upward. The atmosphere peeled away. Space opened, black and stretched and cold. I didn't need to look for his ship. The energy of the Power Stone was like a beacon. It tore through space in a straight line, with no attempt to hide. He was not being discreet. He was testing the stone on purpose, sending a message through the star lanes. He had it. I crossed the distance in seconds. The system near Xandar was a mess. I could see it even before I slowed. Asteroids floated where ships should have been. Energy signatures of Nova Corps cruisers were dying out one by one. Wreckage drifted in all directions. Life signals were few. At the center of the chaos floated a massive ship, Thanos war barge, larger than any of the vessels I had erased before. Its hull glowed purple, not from its engines but from the stone's energy spilling out through conduits. He was channeling it through the ship's spine. Reckless. Brutal. I appeared in front of it. Turrets rotated toward me immediately, tracking. The ship's shields rose. I ignored them and phased through the hull. Inside, the air was dim and cold. The corridors widened into a throne chamber I recognized from the projection high-backed seat, dark metal, scanners, staff. But now Thanos was actually there, not a flicker of light. He stood at the center of the room, holding the Power Stone in a gauntlet-like socket on his left hand. It glowed violent purple, lighting his armor from below. The energy around him crackled like a storm. He looked at me as I approached. "So, even out here, you monitor me?" "Yes," I said. "You move loudly." He glanced out one of the viewports at the burning ships. It was necessary. The Nova Corps would not surrender the stone. So I took it. "You could have taken it quietly," I said. "You wanted me to know." He didn't deny it. "I wanted to see how you measure power. You erase things. I harness them." I stopped a few meters away. "Show me." He lifted the gauntlet slightly. "With pleasure." He turned his hand outward and released a beam toward an approaching Nova cruiser. The stone's power tore from his fist in a thick, condensed blast. It hit the ship and didn't explode it. It didn't shatter it. It crushed it. The entire vessel, kilometers long, compressed into a small, glowing chunk of matter before breaking apart. He looked back at me. Raw power. It's decent, I said. He tilted his head slightly. Just decent? Yes, I said. I've seen better. His eyes narrowed slightly. You are difficult to impress. I have high standards, I said. He lowered his arm slowly. You came to stop me. Yes, I said. You were told not to touch this system. You came anyway. He met my gaze evenly. You kept me from my generals. You crippled my reach. You left me with only the direct path. You forced me to act. I am acting. I sighed lightly. You could have waited. I do not wait when the stones are in sight, he said. Then I don't wait either, I said. He smiled faintly. You wish to test yourself against the stone. I wish to destroy whoever wields it, I said. He raised the gauntlet fully now. Then come, Beerus. Let us see which of us the universe favors. I didn't waste time. I appeared in front of him and struck with my right hand, a clean, fast, open palm blow to the chest that would have caved in most gods. The power stone flared. A field of purple force burst outward from his body, intercepting my blow. My palm hit the shield. It held. The energy rippled across it, but it didn't break. My eyes narrowed slightly. HOH. He exhaled once, the force traveling through his body. You hit hard. You blocked well, I said. He pushed outward. The field expanded suddenly, throwing me back across the chamber. I flipped once in the air and landed lightly on the far side. The walls were scorched. Several of his soldiers were vaporized instantly, caught in the shockwave. He didn't even look at them. He stepped forward. This stone was used by Ronin. By Kree fanatics. By weak minds. They could not control it. You barely control it, I said. He raised his hand again. The glow intensified. His armor shook slightly under the strain, but he held. I control enough. He fired. This blast was bigger than the last. It was a continuous beam, hot and heavy, that tore through the ship as it went. I raised one arm and let it hit. The chamber filled with the light. The floor broke away beneath us. The ceiling cracked. Alarms blared in alien language. The beam ended. I was still standing. My arm smoked faintly, fur singed at the edges, but I was unhurt. I looked at him calmly. You really are trying. He stared. You withstood a full output. Yes, I said. He clenched his jaw, then smiled slightly. Good. I vanished and reappeared above him, bringing my hand down in a chopping motion. He raised the gauntlet again, blocking. The power stone protected him, but the deck buckled under his feet. He grunted now. You would be unstoppable with this stone. I don't need it, I said. Then why stop me from taking it? Because I don't want you to have it, I said. He swung at me with his free hand. I caught it easily. I pulled him forward and kneed him in the stomach. The power stone flashed, absorbing some of the blow, but he still gasped, surprised. I grabbed his arm with the stone and squeezed. Give it. He snarled. No. He channeled everything through it. The aura flared so bright the entire ship shook itself loose from its orbit. Outside, I could sense the Nova station panicking as pieces of the war barge broke off. He pushed that power straight into me at point blank. The purple light flooded my vision. My body slid back an inch. My robe tore slightly. It was impressive force. Enough to vaporize continents. Enough to break planets. It still wasn't enough. When the light faded, I held his arm in the same grip. My eyes were half-lidded. "You're stubborn. You knew that," he said. I twisted. The metal socket holding the power stone cracked. I dug my claws in, ignoring the burning pain from the stone's raw energy, and ripped the whole piece from his gauntlet. The chamber detonated in purple light. Raw, unchanged annealed power stone energy burst outward in an uncontrolled surge. It tore through the walls of the ship, through the roof, through the deck. I closed my fist around the glowing gem and compressed its output. It fought me, trying to expand, but I forced it to obey. Thanos stumbled backward, clutching his now sparking gauntlet. He looked at me, breathing harder than before. "You took it." "Yes," I said. His eyes burned with something close to real anger now. "You stand between me and the only way to fix existence." "I stand between you and my planet," I said. He straightened slowly. His voice grew calm again, controlled. "Then you leave me no path but war." "You already chose war," I said. "I'm just cleaning up." He watched me for a moment, then spoke quietly. "You will not keep the stone. You do not need it. You do not want it. You will not let others have it. You will destroy it." "Yes," I said. He gave a slow nod. "Then we both lose." "No," I said. "Only you do." I lifted the stone to my face. Its energy burned hot in my hand. Most beings couldn't hold it for more than a second. Their bodies would explode. I was not most beings. I let the stone rage in my grip for another moment, then tightened my fist. Hawkeye! The purple light flickered violently. The stone strained against the destruction. It was not a simple object. It was a concept, the idea of pure increase, pure force. But I wasn't erasing the idea. I was erasing this instance of it. This manifestation. It cracked. Thanos' eyes went wide. "No." The power stone shattered like glass. The energy inside it tried to lash outward one last time, but I consumed it in my aura, letting it disintegrate harmlessly around me. What had been one of the six was now dust drifting in the ruined chamber. Thanos stared at the falling fragments, his jaw clenched, breathing hard. His voice was low. "You would destroy Infinity Stones." "When I feel like it," I said. He laughed then. It wasn't loud. It wasn't mad. It was tired and humorless. "You will make enemies beyond me." "I spoke with Odin," I said. "I know who will notice." He looked at me with something almost like pity. "You think you can stand before the tribunal?" "I don't think," I said. "I will." He shook his head once. "You truly do not fear anything." "I don't need to," I said. He straightened, rolling his right shoulder once, recovering his posture. "You have set me back. Severely." "I know," I said. "I will need another way," he said. "Another stone. Another route." "I will be waiting," I said. He narrowed his eyes. "You cannot be everywhere." "I can be where it matters," I said. He exhaled slowly. "Then we are at war." "We were from the moment you looked at Earth," I said. I raised my hand again. "I'll let you live. For now. I want you to come yourself." He actually smiled. "At last. Something we agree on." I flicked my wrist. The entire command deck folded and disintegrated, leaving him standing on an open frame of his own ship in the middle of space. The rest of the vessel began to lose power, broken from the inside out. I turned and left, tearing a hole in space back toward Earth. On the way, I passed the wreckage of Nova ships. I could feel life signs on the surface of Xandar weak, but present. Thanos hadn't destroyed the planet. He'd only taken what he wanted. That was fortunate. I had no reason to wipe them out. I fell through Earth's atmosphere again, hitting the air above New York with a crack. I landed on Stark Tower's balcony. Tony ran out, helmet on. Well. He had it, I said. He doesn't anymore. Tony blinked. You got the stone. I destroyed it, I said. His jaw dropped slightly. You destroyed a freaking Infinity Stone. Yes, I said. It was noisy. He stared, then laughed weakly. You are absolutely insane. And I love it. He walked to the console and opened a COMM. Fury. Beerus just destroyed the Power Stone. There was silence on the other end. Then Fury's incredulous voice, he did what? Tony looked at me and shrugged. Told you. Fury spoke again, slower. Is Thanos dead? No, I said loud enough for him to hear. He'll come himself now. Fury cursed. That's not better. It is, I said. Now we know where the fight will be. Tony rubbed his face. What's he gonna go for next? The Space Stone, I said. The Time Stone. Whichever is easier. So, Earth, Tony said flatly. Yes, I said. He sighed. Then I'll start calling everyone. Do that, I said. He walked inside, grumbling about space raisins and cosmic tyrants. I stayed on the balcony, looking at the stars. I could still sense Thanos out there, fuming, rethinking, rebuilding. He was smart. He would adjust. He would not give up. Good. This kept things interesting. Chapter 20, The Stone That Refused. The moment the Power Stone shattered, reality shook. Not visibly. Not to mortals. But I felt it. The universe did not like losing pieces of itself. I could sense the echo running down every branch of space like a bell being struck. It wasn't loud, but it was very clear. A fixed point had been erased. When I returned to Earth, it didn't take long for the second reaction to start. I was sitting on the couch in Stark Tower, a cup of tea in front of me. Pepper had finally learned how to brew it properly when the air behind me shifted. Not like a portal. Not like Asgard's Bifrost. This was precision-dimensional magic. Calm. Old. Trained. I didn't turn around right away. Speak, I said. A circular portal of orange sparks opened near the ceiling, spinning slowly. From it descended Wong, stern as always, cloak resting heavily on his shoulders. He looked more serious than usual. Lord Beerus, he said. You must come to Camartage. Now. Tony looked up from the table where he was reviewing satellite footage. What happened? Wong glanced at him briefly. The Time Stone is reacting to a disruption in the cosmic balance. Tony pointed at me. You mean this disruption? Yes, Wong said. He destroyed the Power Stone. The result is affecting temporal strands across multiple realities. The Master requires him. I stood, unhurried. So Strange noticed. Wong shook his head. It is not Doctor Strange who called you. I narrowed my eyes slightly. Then who? The Ancient One, Wong said. She has manifested to stabilize the stone. She wishes to speak with you. Tony blinked. She's dead. In this time, Wong said simply. Not in all. Tony looked at me. You're going. Yes, I said. This concerns my actions. I will clean it myself. He shrugged. Okay. Tell the bald lady we said hi. Wong sighed faintly. I will not do that. I stepped toward the portal. Open it fully. He widened it with a motion of his hand. The circular gate grew large enough to step through. I passed without looking back. The air changed instantly. The smell of incense, old wood, and cold Himalayan air filled my senses. I stood in one of Kamartaj's training hall's simple stone floor, circular windows, banners on the walls. Outside, the city of Kathmandu was awake, but the temple itself was quiet. Several disciples were meditating around the hall. They opened their eyes when they sensed me. Some looked frightened. Others looked simply wary. One of them almost stood to bow, but Wang shook his head slightly and they stayed put. I walked forward. "Where is she?" Wang gestured toward the inner chamber. "She is stabilizing the time stone." "Follow." We moved through the corridors. The walls were lined with relics and scrolls. Magic hummed faintly everywhere. I saw Strange in one of the rooms, surrounded by floating books, working quickly to correct branching spell forms. He looked up, eyes widening slightly. "You really did it," he said. "You destroyed an infinity stone." "Yes," I said. He exhaled slowly. "You realize how dangerous that is?" "I realized and did it anyway," I said. He shook his head but didn't argue. "The Ancient One is inside. She said she was expecting you." "Of course she was," I said. I entered the sanctum's central chamber. At its center floated the Eye of Agamotto, open, green light swirling inside. But the light was not smooth. It flickered, skipping, reversing, and correcting itself. Time was trying to heal from losing a node. Standing beneath it, calm, robed in yellow and green, head shaved, was the Ancient One. Alive. Breathing. Eyes clear. She looked at me with that same composed expression she always wore. "Lord Beerus." "Ancient One," I said, voice steady. "You make very loud choices," she said. "I made an efficient one," I said. She nodded once. "Yes. Efficient. But this universe is not built to ignore the destruction of an infinity stone. Time especially dislikes it." I approached the center of the room. The time stone flickered faster as I drew nearer, as if recognizing the one who had broken its sibling. I could feel something pulling on it from outside time, from higher observation. Probably the tribunal watching. I didn't care. The Ancient One raised her hand, weaving sigils in the air. The green magic circled the eye, smoothing it slightly. "I held this stone for many years," she said. "I used it often, but carefully. I bent time. I did not break it." "What you did was break it." "It was necessary," I said. "Then we must repair what can be repaired," she said. I watched her work for a moment. "Your form is slow." She smiled faintly. "Because I am not using power. I am using permission." I frowned. "Explain." "This stone," she said, nodding to the eye, "is not simply an object. It is a channel to the flow above us. We are granted use. We do not own it." "I own what I destroy," I said. She didn't argue. "In your case, perhaps. For the rest of us, no. But the issue is not only that the Power Stone is gone. When you broke it, you removed one of the universe's intended anchors. Now every other anchor must compensate. The Time Stone is bending further to cover the absence. If it bends too far, it will snap. Then strengthen it," I said. She gave me an amused look. "That is why I asked you to come. Your energy is raw and final. It erases. But it can also cleanse disruptions. You can remove the lingering echo from the stone's destruction so that this one does not have to stretch across realities to account for it." "So you want me to erase a scar?" I said. "Yes," she said. "Erase, but not the stone." Only the aftershock. I considered that. It wasn't difficult. It required precision, which I had. Fine, I said. But I will see everything. She nodded. You will. Wang stepped back. Strange entered quietly and stayed near the door, ready but not interrupting. The Ancient One raised both her hands, and the chamber darkened. The roof above us slid open through magic, revealing a night sky that wasn't the one over Nepal. Instead, streams of time-thin, green, spinning lines became visible, crisscrossing in all directions like a web. Each line carried moments. Each one was a path reality could take. One of them was flickering violently, sending jittering waves into the others. That was the wound. The place where the Power Stone had been relied upon by probability and no longer was. I stepped forward. That one. Yes, she said. That one. I lifted my right hand. Purple energy gathered at my fingertips, not as a blast but as a thin, precise strand. If I erase too much, your time will skip. Then do not erase too much, she said calmly. I didn't roll my eyes, but I felt the urge. I focused on the flickering strand. It was like a thread connecting multiple events: Xandar, the Guardian's involvement, Ronan's earlier misuse, even the moment in which Thanos first learned of its location. That entire chain was shaking. I touched it with Hawkeye. Not to destroy the chain, but to destroy the distortion around it. The unstable residue of a stone that should have been there but wasn't. The green light surged, trying to resist me. I held it in place. Slowly, inch by inch, the flicker smoothed. The lines around it calmed. The web of time settled. Strange let out a slow breath. It's working. Wang gave a firm nod. Good. The Ancient One lowered her hands. That will keep the time stone from tearing itself in two. I pulled my hand back. Annoying. She smiled. You destroyed something fundamental. The universe will always complain afterward. I don't care about its complaints, I said. I know, she said. You care about being bothered. This will reduce your inconvenience. I nodded once. That was the right argument. Strange stepped forward. So the tribunal won't come. The Ancient One glanced at me. Not for this. Not yet. The god was careful not to erase the concept of the Power Stone. Only its vessel. That is like breaking a cup, not removing the water from existence. I added, and I made sure Odin knew. If someone above wants to scold me, they can come. I'll erase them too. Strange winced slightly. Please don't threaten cosmic judges in my house. I wasn't threatening, I said. I was promising. Wang folded his arms. Your promises are worse than threats. I looked at him. You talk boldly for someone I could erase by blinking. He didn't back down, which I had to respect. And you eat boldly in someone else's tower. I let it go. The Ancient One floated down from her position near the center. Her feet touched the ground softly. There is still a problem. I looked at her. What? She gestured to the time stone. Now that one stone has been destroyed, the tethering between the others is weakened. The more Thanos pushes for them, the more the remaining stones will react to preserve their relevance. He will be drawn to them faster. And now the time stone will see him sooner. Then I'll go to him sooner, I said. She looked at me seriously. There is another path. I stared at her. Speak directly. You could take the space stone now, she said. Before he comes. Before he reaches Earth. You could store it where even he cannot reach it. Destroy this pattern before it worsens. I shook my head. No. That stone amuses me. It brings enemies. I like it. She sighed softly. You are predictable. I know, I said. Strange spoke carefully. If Thanos comes for it, we'll fight him. You'll lose, I said. He nodded. Probably. But we'll still fight. I gave him a faint look of approval. Good. I'll be there to finish it. The Ancient One stepped closer to me. There is still the matter of one more reaction. I narrowed my eyes. What reaction? When you destroyed the Power Stone, she said, something else looked. Not the Watcher. Not the Tribunal. Something small, but very perceptive. A being that likes chaos. It placed this earth under closer attention. You will sense it soon. I thought for a moment. The Collector. No, she said. Not a mortal. A trickster. A being that steps sideways through realities. A watcher of possibilities, but not your tall one. Then I'll erase that too if it bothers me, I said. She nodded. As expected. Wong moved to the side, setting the ring of sparks back in place as a return portal. Your work here is finished, Lord Beerus. The stone is stable again. I looked at the eye. The green energy was calm now, cycling at a steady rhythm. Keep it that way. We will, Wong said. I turned to go, then stopped and looked back at the Ancient One. You still plan to die? Her eyes softened briefly. Yes. Then do it without leaving trouble, I said. She bowed her head slightly. I will try. I stepped through the portal and exited back into Stark Tower. Tony was still by the console. So. Fixed, I said. Your time wizard needed help. He smiled. Nice. Future me says thanks. I didn't do it for you, I said. He grinned. I know. You did it so no one annoys you about reality cracking. Exactly, I said. He walked over to the bar. So what now? We keep training? Or do we start packing for the big purple guy again? Both, I said. He will come sooner now. He lost his stone. He'll want to make up for it. Tony nodded slowly. Then I'm calling Rogers. And Thor. And Banner. And the bird guy. And the Spider Kid. Do that, I said. He paused. You know, you destroying an Infinity Stone, that's kind of big. I know, I said. He sighed, half impressed, half tired. Fury's going to have to explain that to the council. This will be fun. Tell them I did it, I said. They can complain to me. He laughed. I will. I really will. I sat back down, taking the tea again. It was still warm. The tower was still standing. Time was no longer twitching in the background. This was better. Chapter 21, The Collector's Vault. The time stone stopped screaming. The tower quieted. Stark finally believed, at least for the day, that reality wasn't going to split in half because I destroyed one Infinity Stone. That was good. I didn't like repeating myself. But the problem wasn't finished. Thanos had already proven he could reach Xandar. He had already proven he could move faster when I cut off his hands. That meant he would not waste time. The next stone he would reach for was not on Earth, not in Asgard, not on some guarded world. It was in a place that thought itself safe because it was hidden in chaos. No, here. The Collector. I sat on the balcony rail, arms folded, eyes on the skyline. I could feel the reality stone from here. It didn't feel like the others. It was loose. It didn't stay in one shape. It didn't lock itself into a single form. It shifted between liquid and solid, between power and rest. This universe called it the Ether once. Odin had spoken of it. It was sitting in Tanelier Tavan's vault. That fool liked to hoard things he didn't understand. He thought because he lived at the edge of space he was safe. Thanos wouldn't let that stand. I stood. Tony was inside, on a call with Rogers. They were mapping defensive lines on a hollow table. I walked in. I'm leaving, I said. Tony looked up. Where now? To destroy the next place Thanos will visit, I said. He frowned. You mean the Collector's place? The giant dead floating head. Yes, I said. You're gonna blow it up. Yes, I said. He nodded slowly. All right. I can't even argue with that. Just make sure you grab the red goo first. I will, I said. He pointed at me. Bring me a sample. No, I said, and vanished. Space folded around me. I didn't bother with ships or gates. I went straight for the signature of the Reality Stone. It pulsed like a slow, deep heartbeat across the void. It wasn't loud, but it was stubborn. It refused to blend into the background of space. Even in a place as crowded and lawless as No Here, it stood out. The giant severed head of a celestial floated in the middle of a cluster of mining rigs, smaller vessels, black market docks, and cargo haulers. Its eyes were hollow, carved into living quarters and trade alleys. Bright lights shone from its mouth and eye sockets. There was noise everywhere. Ships docked, smugglers shouted, engines hummed, music played. It was a dump, but a rich dump. I descended through the thin atmosphere around it, entering directly through one of the open docks. No one stopped me. Most of them didn't even look at me. The ones who did moved aside quickly when they felt my energy. I walked through the market paths. Aliens of dozens of races haggled over parts, weapons, slaves, and food. The smell was strong: oil, metal, sweat, spice. Music played from a corner. A group of ravagers laughed at a table. No one noticed that a god of destruction was walking past them. I reached the private elevator that led to the Collector's Museum. 2 armored guards stood in front of it, holding shock staves. They crossed them. Private level, one said. Invitation only. I looked at him calmly. I don't need an invitation. He tensed. Then you don't go up. I raised my hand and erased them both. They vanished without a sound. Their weapons clattered to the floor. I stepped over them, pressed the lift controls, and rode upward. The elevator doors opened into a wide chamber filled with glass cages, floating platforms, preserved creatures, cosmic relics, and things better left sealed. It was cleaner here. Quiet. Expensive. The scent of preserved air hit my nose. Music played softly. The Collector stood near a display case, talking to a small assistant with a red marking on her face. He wore his ridiculous fur-lined coat and carried a goblet in one hand. His white hair stood up in a neat style, and his eyes lit up when he saw me. Oh, he said with delight. You are not on my list. I know, I said. He stepped forward slowly, appraising me like I was an exhibit. Tall. Feline. Divine energy radiating at extreme levels. Foreign origin. You are fascinating. Lord Beerus, I said. God of destruction. He blinked, impressed. Destruction. How rare. How lovely. I have been trying to acquire a being like you for centuries. You will fail, I said. He smiled. I can always try. I ignored him and looked around. You have something I want. His eyes narrowed just a little. You mean the ether? Yes, I said. Thanos will come for it. I came first. He let out a small amused sound. Thanos. Always Thanos. I told him to pay triple if he wanted anything from me. He never came. I assumed he was busy murdering star systems. He was, I said. He'll come here next. He waved a hand dismissively. He won't harm me. I am a collector. I am neutral. I deal to all sides. I preserve. You hoard, I said. And you keep things you can't defend. His smile tightened. That is unkind. It's true, I said. He took a sip from his goblet, thinking. And what exactly do you want to do with my ether, destroyer? I will take it somewhere Thanos cannot take it easily, I said. Then I will destroy this place so he doesn't think to search it. The assistant's eyes widened. Master. He held up a hand. Quiet, Karina. He looked at me again. You would destroy my collection. Yes, I said. He pouted slightly. Do you have any idea how long it took me to acquire all of this? I don't care, I said. He sighed, resigned. Of course you don't. He turned and walked toward the inner vault chamber. Come then. Let us at least transfer the ether without blowing up half my artifacts. I followed him. We walked past glass cases holding rare beasts, frozen warriors, cosmic flora, strange glowing stones, and even things from Earth: an old motorcycle, a retro arcade machine, a box of vinyl records. He truly kept anything. We entered the ether chamber. The stone was not a stone. Here, as in past records, it existed as a swirling red fluid held in a containment field. The energy swam slowly, like thick liquid moving under its own will. It pulsed with slow, heavy power. The collector looked at it with pride. One of the 6, he said softly. A miracle of creation. A relic from before form. Thanos will take it, I said. You can brag later. He sighed in annoyance. Fine. How do you plan to contain it? I will, I said. He turned toward me, incredulous. In yourself? Yes, I said. He laughed once. Now that I would love to see. I ignored him. I raised my hand toward the containment field. The ether sensed me immediately. It shifted, rising like a living thing, pressing against the barrier. It recognized power. It wanted to bond, to infest, to consume. I tightened my aura around my hand. Calm. The ether thrashed harder. The collector backed away slightly. Careful. It can infect your cells. It nearly killed the mortal woman who bore it once. I'm not a mortal woman, I said. I closed my hand. Hawkeye energy formed around it, not to erase the ether, but to restrain it. My destruction cancelled its invasive spread. Slowly, deliberately, I reached through the barrier and grabbed the ether. It tried to surge up my arm. I kept it in place. The collector watched, eyes wide with genuine scientific excitement. Incredible. You're neutralizing its parasitic spread. You're cancelling its reality warping field. Yes, I said calmly. That's what destruction does. I pulled the ether fully free. It swirled in my hand, heavy, hot, unsteady. Unlike the Power Stone, it did not want to be a simple object. It wanted to remain half-formed. I forced it to compress. Where will you take it? He asked, stepping closer slowly. Asgard, I said. Odin's vault can hold it better than you. He grimaced. Asgard hoards too. They defend their hoard, I said. You can't. He gave a small shrug. I can hire. You can die, I said. He went quiet. I turned and began walking back toward the main hall, the ether contained within a firm sphere of my energy. The assistant, Karina, watched it with a mix of fear and desire. I could tell she had been tempted many times to take things here. I stopped. You. Move. She stepped aside quickly. Yes, Lord Beerus. The collector followed. Must you really destroy my collection? Yes, I said. Thanos leaves no trace. If he comes here and finds chaos, he will know it was me. That's fine. But if he finds your things, he may find records. I don't want him to know where I brought the stone. The collector sighed dramatically. So unromantic. So absolute. I am a god of destruction, I said. He raised his hands in surrender. Fine. Fine. Do it cleanly. I walked to the center of the museum floor. I glanced around once. I saw several dangerous items that it would be better for this universe to never see again. A dark elf war relic. A cosmic control rod. What looked like a cocoon of some living weapon. All of it would tempt someone. I didn't like temptations lying around. I lifted my left hand. Hawkeye. The word left my mouth plainly. The energy crawled outward from my palm like a perfect circle. It didn't explode. It didn't burn. It simply erased. Every glass case it touched vanished. Every relic turned to dust. Every preserved creature ceased. The room grew emptier with every inch. The collector clutched his chest. My collection, he said sadly. It was weak, I said. He slumped slightly, but did not protest. He was smart enough to know staying alive was better than keeping toys. When the chamber was completely empty, I stopped the Hawkeye. The floor was clean. The walls were bare. Only the collector, his assistant, and I remained. I looked at him. If Thanos comes, tell him nothing. Or I will return. He nodded quickly. I am a businessman, Lord Beerus. I know when to be silent. You'd better, I said. I tore open space. This time, I aimed for Asgard. The hole glowed faintly as I stepped through. The Golden City greeted me again. I appeared just outside the throne room. Guards jumped but then relaxed when they recognized me. Lord Beerus, one of them said. The Alfather is in council. He will see me, I said, and walked in. The doors opened. Odin sat on the throne, speaking with a group of Asgardian captains. Thor stood to his right. When they saw me, they fell silent. Thor grinned. He returns again. Odin leaned forward slightly. You bear something. I walked to the center and raised my hand. The ether pulsed inside my energy field. This belonged to the collector. It no longer does. Thor's eyes widened. The ether. Yes, I said. Thanos will come for it. I brought it here. Odin stood, expression grave. You destroyed his vault. Yes, I said. He nodded slowly. Wise. I looked at him. Can your vault hold it? He walked down from the throne, examining it closely. Yes. It once rested here. It can again. But why not destroy it as you did the Power Stone? Because I don't feel like dealing with the tribunal twice in 1 week, I said. Odin actually chuckled softly. A fair reason. Thor still stared at the ether, uneasy. This thing infected Jane once. It nearly killed her. It will not infect anyone now, I said. I suppressed its spread. Odin gestured to Tuain Herjar. Take it to the secure chamber. Tell no one outside the royal house. Not even the lower priests. They bowed and approached carefully. I handed the ether to him without releasing my hold until his magic wrapped around it. His energy was firm, disciplined, confident. The ether calmed. He turned back to me. You have now placed another target on Asgard. I know, I said. Thor stepped forward. Thanos will strike again soon, then. Yes, I said. He has lost one stone entirely. He will not lose another. He will move faster. Thor gripped Mjolnir tightly. Then we will be ready. You're not, I said. But you will try. He nodded. That's all we do. Odin returned to the throne. We will tighten our defenses. We will increase Bifrost watch. If he comes through space, Heimdall will see him. He'll come through force, I said. Not stealth. Odin inclined his head. Then Asgard will meet him. I turned. I have done what I wanted. The stone is no longer where he expects it. That should slow him. Odin said quietly, you understand such moves will eventually draw the attention of those above. I already spoke to the Watcher, I said. He agreed to stay quiet. Odin's eye glinted with interest. Then you are already negotiating with the stars. Yes, I said. And I will continue. Thor grinned. I like this. Let him come. Let him face Asgard and Earth at once. You'd lose, I said. He laughed. I know. But it would be glorious. I left the hall. Heimdall met me at the bridge. You move quickly, Lord Beerus, he said calmly. I saw no here go dark. I erased it, I said. He nodded. Thanos will know. He should, I said. Let him get angry. Angry enemies make mistakes. I rose from the bridge, leaving Asgard behind. Space welcomed me again. I returned to Earth within seconds. Stark met me on the balcony. So. Collector's vault is gone, I said. Ether is in Asgard. He let out a breath. Nice. So now Thanos has to go through Odin to get it. Yes, I said. Or through me. He nodded. He's gonna hate that. I hope so, I said. He smiled. You look satisfied. I am, I said. I like when plans work. He clapped his hands once. All right. Then we double training. If he can't get his stones, he'll just go straight for us. Good, I said. I was getting bored. I walked back inside and sat, taking the next tray of food Pepper had sent up. The board was clearer now. Thanos had lost one stone forever. Another had been moved to a place where he'd have to work for it. The remaining stones on Earth would be defended. That meant his next attack would not be slow, or careful, or covert. It would be direct. That was the kind I liked. Chapter 22, Eyes Beyond the Void. No, here was gone. Not completely, its shell still floated, the dead celestial head still hung in space, but the bright market, the smuggler docks, the collector's museum, the messy life that clung to it was erased. I had wiped it clean so Thanos wouldn't find clues. It was neat. Efficient. Boring once finished. But the moment I erased it, I felt something else. Not Thanos. Not Dormammu. Not the Tribunal. Not the Watcher. This gaze was heavier than the Watcher's, but also narrower. It didn't look at events to record them. It looked at assets. It examined, measured, and compared. It didn't panic. It didn't flare. It simply locked on to the fact that I had destroyed a celestial skull and everything inside it. That was new. I sat inside Stark Tower again, arms folded, eyes half closed, pretending to rest while I traced the gaze's origin. Tony was on a call banner in one window, Fury in another, Thor patched in from Asgard. They were coordinating defenses and arguing about which stone was where. It was noise. The presence didn't come closer. It stayed at the edge of reality, fixed, like something that only leaned forward when it had to. I knew what kind of beings watched like that. Odin had spoken of them once, not by name, but by title: those who judged planets, those who seeded life, those who decided which worlds would hatch celestials. Celestials. I stood. Tony looked up. You got that look again. I have a visitor, I said. Where? Outside existence, I said. I'll deal with it. He sighed. Of course you will. Try not to punch a god that's the size of a continent. I'll punch what I want, I said, and vanished. I didn't go to space. I went above it. Past the local galaxy, past the cosmic background, past the level where beings like Odin and Dormammu and Thanos moved. I reached the layer the Watcher used, the one just beyond common reality. He was there. Uedu. Watching. He appeared almost immediately this time, as if he had been expecting me. His eyes were still and wide. You felt it, he said. Yes, I said. You let it see me. He shook his head. No. You made yourself visible. You erased a celestial sight. That attracts celestials. I stared at him. I erased a dead head filled with trash. It was still a celestial remnant, the Watcher said calmly. They monitor their remains. Their genetic mines. Their living factories. Even a severed head was still under watch. So which one is watching? I asked. Name it. The Watcher hesitated, then answered. It is not one of the lesser surveyors. It is a prime. Arishem the judge. I frowned slightly. The one that measures whether a planet lives or dies. Yes, the Watcher said. He oversees emergent worlds. When a celestial corpse is tampered with, he looks. When it is erased, he looks harder. He's looking at me now, I said. Yes, he said. I lifted my hand. Call him here. The Watcher blinked slowly. Beerus. Celestials do not come when called. I wasn't asking, I said. I will speak to whoever is watching me. Now. Uedo looked at me for a long moment. Then his eyes shifted upward. He did not call, not with words, not with magic. He simply acknowledged the presence above us. The space behind him, behind everything, darkened. A shape formed. Not an illusion. Not a projection. A real presence, massive, red, armored, eyes blazing white. Taller than worlds. Taller than the dead head I had erased. He didn't fully enter this universe, he stayed partly in the higher plane, only manifesting enough for me to see him clearly. The emptiness around us bent to make room. Arishem. His voice was deep and precise. You destroyed No here. I looked up at him calmly. I did. You destroyed a celestial skull and all contained within, he said. You removed it from the plan of observation. Yes, I said. It was in my way. His eyes glowed brighter. You erase without regard to celestial roots. I erase what I choose, I said. He regarded me longer. You are not of this reality. I know, I said. You also broke an infinity stone, Arishem said. You have taken the reality stone from an unprotected vault. You interfere with progression. I interfere with annoyance, I said. The Watcher remained silent, watching the exchange. Arishem's head tilted ever so slightly. This universe is on a path. Its worlds are being tested. Its heroes are being shaped. Its stones are being moved. You stand in between the design and the test. I stand between my entertainment and those who want to ruin it, I said. Explain, Arishem said. I met his gaze. Thanos wants to wipe out half of life. Dormammu wants to consume dimensions. Some of your celestial plans involve hatching from planets. I am using this world. I like it. You will not tamper with it while I use it. The silence between us stretched. He did not get angry. He did not threaten. He analyzed. That was his nature. You protect this planet for selfish reasons, he said. Yes, I said. You protect its people because you enjoy them, he said. Yes, I said. He processed that. Your reasons are irrelevant. Your actions disrupt the cosmic cycle. I raised my hand slowly. Purple energy crackled around it. If you think you will hatch a celestial out of this planet while I'm here, I will erase the egg and the shell. The Watcher's eyes widened very slightly. Erishem's lights flared. You would erase a celestial embryo. Yes, I said plainly. And I already erased one of your skulls. I will do it again. Do not grow inside the planet I am using. He was silent again. The space around us vibrated faintly from the pressure of his presence. I held my ground. I didn't let my aura flare. I didn't bow. I didn't defer. I had already made Thanos listen. I had already made Dormammu listen. I would make this one listen too. After a moment, Arishem spoke again. This planet is scheduled for judgment. Not while I'm here, I said. You will not stay forever, he said. I'll stay long enough, I said. He considered that. You move above this reality's constraints. You have spoken to Asgard. To the sorcerers. To the Watcher. To the Titan. You have removed a stone. You have moved another. Your presence is an anomaly. I know, I said. The living tribunal is aware, he said. I know that too, I said. Odin told me. I don't care. Arishem's eyes studied me. Then we will adjust. How? I said. We will not hatch on this planet while you anchor it, he said calmly. We will monitor. We will not intervene. You will not erase celestial assets without necessity. I will erase what I want, I said. He corrected himself. You will not erase them without necessity as judged by you. That's better, I said. The Watcher looked faintly amused. You are making cosmic forces negotiate on human terms. I'm making them not irritate me, I said. Arishem's eyes dimmed slightly. Your interference will still have consequences. I'll deal with them, I said. You destroyed a stone, he said again. That will echo. Others will seek to replace it. Let them, I said. I'll erase those too. He stared at me for a long time. You are a destroyer with intention. That is rare. I am Beerus, I said. That's enough. Arishem gave a slow, almost imperceptible nod. Then I will watch this world while you watch it. I will defer judgment until you depart. I will not send Eternals or Deviants to alter it now. Good, I said. That's what I wanted. He looked down at me, at the planet below, at the network of magic and science and mortals moving without understanding how close they were to being erased by forces they never knew existed. Then he began to fade. He did not teleport. He didn't blink. He simply receded back into whatever vantage point the Celestials used to watch reality. His gaze remained for a moment longer, then vanished too. The emptiness stilled. The Watcher looked at me. You just delayed a celestial judgment. Yes, I said. Do you know how many civilizations have tried that? He asked. I don't, I said. I don't care. He gave a small nod. Very few succeeded. You did because you do not bargain from weakness. You do not request. You announce. I'm not interested in your analysis, I said. I just wanted to know who was looking at me. He inclined his head. Now you do. I looked at him. If another one looks, tell me immediately. I will, he said. And if the tribunal decides to come, I said, you will tell me before it speaks. He hesitated, then nodded. I can warn. I cannot stop. I didn't ask you to stop, I said. That's my job. He smiled faintly. Understood. I dropped back toward Earth. The atmosphere rushed up to meet me. I slowed and landed on Stark Tower again. Tony was waiting, arms crossed. So. Who was it? A celestial, I said. Arishem. His eyes widened. The giant red guy from space stories that nobody believes in. Yes, I said. And? I told him not to hatch anything from Earth while I'm here, I said. And? He agreed, I said. Tony let out a long, low whistle. You just told a universe-building space god to wait because you're busy. Yes, I said. He grinned. I am never getting used to you. You shouldn't, I said. He walked over to the bar. You know what? I'm telling Fury we don't have to worry about surprise planet births now. Do that, I said. He tapped his COMM. Fury. Add cosmic midlife crisis to our list of threats. Beerus just told a giant space judge to back off. Fury's voice came through, exasperated. I'm tired. You're alive, I said loudly enough for him to hear. Stay that way. Working on it, Fury muttered, then hung up. Tony laughed. You ruin everyone's day and save it at the same time. I know, I said. I sat back down. Now we can focus on Thanos. Tony nodded, face growing serious again. Yet. If you just forced a celestial to wait, purple alien's the only real problem left. For now, I said. He looked at me. You gonna go after him again? Soon, I said. But first, I want to see how strong your people can get before he arrives. Training time, he asked. Yes, I said. He smiled. I'll call them in. I leaned back, tail flicking lazily. Earth was safe from Celestials for now. The Watcher was cooperating. The Ancient One understood. Asgard was holding the Reality Stone. Thanos was wounded and angry. This was a good position. Chapter 23, Judgment Above Judgment. The day on Earth was normal. That was the strange part. The tower hummed. The city moved. Tony ran a simulation in the main room, showing trajectories for alien ships, projected casualty numbers, and his proposed shield satellites. Steve was downstairs, running drills with Sam and Clint. Bruce was hiding in a lab trying not to get angry. Thor had returned to Asgard temporarily to watch over the ether. Everything was moving the way it should. That was when the air changed. It wasn't like when Dormammu stared. It wasn't like when Arishem leaned in. This was wider. Older. Colder. It did not come from one point. It came from every direction at once, above, below, behind, in front, through the atoms of the tower, through me. It was not force. It was attention. I stopped eating. Tony noticed immediately. You froze. That means it's bad. I stood up slowly. Stay here. He frowned. Who is it? The one Odin warned me about, I said. Tony's face fell. You mean the cosmic judge? Yes, I said. The living tribunal. He swore. You want backup? No, I said. You can't help. Can you beat it? Yes, I said calmly. If I have to. He sighed. Then go. Try not to get reality deleted. I just learned how to cook Wakandan pepper beef. I'll come back, I said, and lifted off through the open balcony. I didn't go into space. I went past it. I passed the orbit, the moon, the asteroid belt, the distant cold of the system, and kept going until the stars of this universe grew small. Then I kept going farther, to the layer beyond even where the Watcher liked to stand. There, the fabric of reality itself was still. It was not a place. It was not a plane. It was a blank where laws could be written. And he was there. He did not appear like a man. He didn't need to. He appeared as a tall, robed figure, bald, with 3 faces, one forward, one covered, one to the side. All 3 glowed. All 3 contained judgment. His scale was not like Arishem's raw size. It was worse. He didn't need to be large. He was authority. The living tribunal. He spoke. His voice wasn't loud. It didn't echo. It simply was heard. Beerus, God of destruction. You have been noticed. I floated in front of him, arms crossed. I knew you would come eventually. You have destroyed an infinity stone, he said. You have removed a celestial sight. You have delayed a scheduled judgment. You have altered the placement of another stone. You have confronted Dormammu in his own realm. You have prevented a Titan's line of destiny. You exist in this reality without belonging to it. Yes, I said. I did all of that. His forward face remained still. The second face, the one half covered, spoke next, voice slightly different. These actions cause imbalance. The third face, the one to the side, continued. Such imbalance must be judged. I met all 3 calmly. Then judge. The main face regarded me. You are unafraid. I don't fear anyone, I said. That is noted, he said. I floated closer. You've watched me. You know why I act. I am not bringing chaos. I am removing things that threaten what I am using. You are imposing your will over the natural course of this universe, the tribunal said. This reality was set to face events in sequence. You have broken the sequence. The sequence was weak, I said. Heroes who are entertained by playing with stones shouldn't be wiped out by a Titan who kills half the universe. The universe would have endured that, the tribunal said evenly. It would have grown through it. It would have learned. You removed that growth. I removed inconvenience, I said. He tilted his head slightly. You speak as though your convenience is equal to cosmic structure. In my view, it is, I said. The tribunal did not flare. Did not threaten. He was beyond anger. Beyond pride. He existed only to decide. That made him more troublesome than the others. You cannot bait someone who does not enjoy fighting. He raised one hand. Your presence must be evaluated. Do it, I said. Reality rippled. The stars of the MCU universe appeared beneath us not as distant lights, but as a full projection. Galaxies, nebulae, dimensions, pocket realms, known and unknown, everything rotated slowly beneath the tribunal like a model. The planets were tiny. Earth was a small light in the middle of one of the spirals. Asgard was a brighter speck. The dark dimension was a circling mass. The quantum realm a thin, vibrating zone. I could feel Odin peering from Asgard. I could feel Wong and Strange sense the shift. I could feel the Watcher watching us from the same level. I ignored all of them. The tribunal's second face spoke. This universe was set to experience an incursion of Chitauri, the rise of mortal champions, the return of fallen gods, the approach of a Titan with a completed gauntlet, and then a restructuring. I know, I said. I watched the path. You have shortened it, he said. I sped it up, I corrected. You have removed needed suffering, he said. I narrowed my eyes. You are complaining that things didn't die. I am stating that growth without trial is weaker, he said. Your actions threaten that. I can make them stronger without killing half of them, I said. I can train them. He considered that. That is, plausible. The third face spoke. However, you have also erased an infinity stone. This action is not interpretive. It is absolute. That act must be weighed. I stared. I removed a problem. You removed one of 6 fundamental objects, the tribunal said. They are part of this universe's design. You unmade one. That is not a small thing. It was noisy and in someone else's hand, I said. I didn't want him to use it. I could erase him. But it was faster to erase the stone. I chose faster. Yes, the tribunal said. You chose faster. You chose destruction over negotiation. I am a god of destruction, I said. That is your nature, he agreed. But this is not your native reality. Here, destruction is my decision. Not yours. I smiled faintly. Then why didn't you stop me? A long pause followed. Finally, the tribunal answered. Because your destruction did not yet reach the threshold. Because the ones you erased were not vital to the whole. Because your intention was not selfish across timelines. Because you did not erase for pleasure alone. You erased for control. That can be allowed, to a point. I lifted an eyebrow slightly. So I'm allowed to destroy as long as I don't destroy too much. As long as you do not attempt to remake this universe in your own image, he said. As long as you do not destroy all stones. As long as you do not erase the central world. Earth, I said. Yes, he said. That planet is a convergence point. Too many future events depend on its survival. I don't want to destroy it, I said. I want to keep it. That is why I destroy everything around it. That is why we have come, the tribunal said. You destroy around it too zealously. I'm making space, I said. He floated slightly lower, closer to me. His 3 faces stared at me without blinking. Then you will undergo proof. I frowned. Proof? Yes, he said. You will prove that your destruction serves balance, not only your convenience. If you fail, you will be removed from this universe. I rolled my shoulders once. What proof? The tribunal raised his hand. The model of the universe beneath us shifted. It zoomed in on one point, a planet in another spiral arm of the same universe, small, civilized, technologically ahead of Earth but not powerful. I recognized it. It was one of the minor worlds Thanos had passed by. It had millions of life forms. It had a stable sun. It had no magic. The second face spoke. This world will die within 5 of its years due to a gamma flare from its star. It is its destiny. Its deaths will ripple to affect 3 other planets. That ripple will inspire warriors, inventions, alliances. That path is chosen. The third face spoke. You will destroy it now. I looked at him. Why? Because its destruction is already written, he said. Because erasing it will not disturb overall balance. Because doing so will prove that you can act within determined paths instead of only outside them. I stared at the projection. You want me to destroy a planet I don't care about to prove that I can follow your rules? Yes, he said. I thought about it. It was easy. Too easy. I could erase it with a thought. It wouldn't even be fun. It would be dust in half a heartbeat. But I didn't like being handled. I didn't like being tested like a child. I folded my arms. No. The tribunal went still. Explain. I said no, I said. I don't destroy because you tell me to. I destroy because I want to. I don't care about your scenario. I don't care about your rehearsed path. I don't care about your 5-year plan. I'm not your executioner. The second face brightened. Refusal. The third face hardened. Disobedience. The front face, the primary one, spoke slowly. Beerus. I am the living tribunal. I am the final judgment of multiversal law. None stand above me. You defy me. Yes, I said calmly. I do. On what grounds? He asked. On the grounds that I did not come here to become your tool, I said. I came here to eat, watch, fight, and erase what I choose. I will not destroy according to someone else's schedule. I am destruction, not administration. The space around us tightened. It wasn't anger. It was enforcement. Reality itself tried to push down on me, to remind me that I was in his jurisdiction. My aura flared slightly in response. Purple power wrapped around me, neutralizing the pressure. The tribunal's heads all focused on me. Then we must judge by combat, he said. Good, I said. That I understand. He raised both hands. The universe model below vanished. The blank around us became a field of nothing. Then, from nothing, forms appeared, multiple clones of the tribunal, each radiating enforcement energy, each capable of unmaking. This was not a physical test. This was a test of whether I could exist in their presence. They all raised their hands. Energy beams, white and gold, fired toward me from every angle. I stood still. The beams hit. They didn't burn. They unmade. Wherever they touched, color and structure vanished. I let them hit my aura. The energy tried to break it down. My destruction met their judgment. It was not like fighting Thanos or Odin or Dormammu. This wasn't about strength. It was about hierarchy. I growled softly. You're annoying. I raised my hand and released Hawkeye in a full, wide circle. My energy was pure destruction. It didn't ask. It didn't negotiate. It erased. The tribunal's projected bodies flickered. 3 vanished instantly. 3 more resisted, their golden light pushing back against mine. The real tribunal watched, expression unchanged. He was assessing. Weighing. Testing. I moved. I appeared in front of one of the projections and struck it with a single finger. It disintegrated. I moved again, faster than their beams, erasing each copy one by one. Each time, their attempt to unmake me failed, because I was not part of their structure. I was outside. In less than a minute, the field was empty again. I turned to the real tribunal. Satisfied. He studied me. All 3 faces focused. You are resistant to universal erasure. Yes, I said. You are not bound to the base code of this reality, he said. Yes, I said. You can nullify my avatars, he said. Yes, I said. He lowered his hands. Then this universe cannot remove you. You may remain. I smirked. Of course I may. He held up a single finger. However. I narrowed my eyes. What? You may not continue destroying Infinity Stones, he said. 1 was tolerable. More will not be. You may move them. You may guard them. You may fight over them. You may even destroy interventions. But you will not unmake more of them unless the threat is equal to losing them. I considered it. It was reasonable. Fine. You will not erase celestial birthing grounds in excess, he said. One was tolerable. More will trigger multiversal response. Fine, I said. As long as they don't try to hatch from Earth. They will not, he said. Not while you remain. Good, I said. He looked down at the universe again. You will allow the Titan to come. He will come anyway, I said. You will allow him to test that world, the tribunal said. You may defeat him. You may erase him. But you will not prevent him from arriving. This universe must face him. I thought for a moment. Then I nodded. Fine. He can come. I will kill him here. That is acceptable, the tribunal said. I crossed my arms again. Then we're done. For now, he said. I stared at him. You said I can stay. You can, he said. But I will continue to watch. If your destruction grows beyond what this universe can sustain, I will return. I'll be ready, I said. He faded. Not like Arishem, who dimmed. Not like the Watcher, who stepped back. The tribunal simply stopped being there, as though an editor had removed a word from a page. The blank space remained. I stayed for a moment, letting the stillness settle. Then I turned and dropped back toward Earth. The fall through reality, back into the atmosphere, was faster than usual. I landed on Stark Tower, feet touching the glass floor lightly. Tony was waiting. He had 2 drinks in hand. Well. He tested me, I said. And I passed, I said. He knows he can't erase me easily. Tony let out a loud breath. Thank God. Or thank you. Or I don't know who to thank here. Me, I said. He smiled. So what are the terms? I can stay, I said. I can destroy what I want. As long as I don't destroy more stones. As long as I don't wipe out celestial eggs randomly. As long as I let Thanos come. Tony frowned. You have to let him come. Yes, I said. The universe wants the fight. He rolled his eyes. Of course it does. He'll come, I said. We'll beat him. Then it will be quiet again. Tony nodded slowly. All right. I'll tell Fury that a 3-faced cosmic judge said go ahead and fight the space warlord. That's going to be a fun call. Tell him, I said. He handed me the drink. You look calm. I am, I said. Now I know how high I can go before they bother me. He grinned. You hit the ceiling of reality. I broke it, I said. He laughed. Fair. I sat back down on the couch. The city outside was still moving. The planet was still alive. The tribunal had looked and decided I could stay. That was enough. Now I could focus on the real fight. Chapter 24, Come and Die on Earth. The tribunal was gone. The air on Earth felt lighter. Not for the mortals, they hadn't felt any of it, but for me. I now knew the exact line I could stand on without being erased by the ones who thought they ran reality. That was enough. Which meant there was no reason to wait anymore. Thanos was still out in space, rearranging plans, licking his wounds, and trying to replace what I had ripped away from him. He had lost the Power Stone. He had lost the chance at the Reality Stone. His Black Order was gone. He was relying on his own strength now. That was what I wanted. I stood from the couch and headed for the balcony. Tony looked up from his console. Field trip. Yes, I said. I'm going to tell him to come. Tony blinked. You're going to tell Thanos to attack us? Yes, I said. He stared. Then he sighed. All right. At least warn us before you drag a warship over the city. I will, I said. He pointed at me. And don't make him land on the tower. I just reinforced the glass. I didn't promise. I left. Space opened around me as I rose out of the atmosphere. I didn't need the Watcher this time. I already knew where Thanos was. The Tribunal's judgment had tethered us for a moment, and I had caught his position from that. He was not near Earth now. He had retreated to the edge of a dark, quiet sector, his sector, where a massive ringed ship drifted slowly in orbit around a red, quiet world. Several smaller ships circled it like satellites. At least 3 forges or assembly vessels were docked to it, building something. New weapons. New armor. New troops. I moved straight toward it. The first ship's sensors picked me up instantly. I heard the alert in its language, unidentified power signature. Approaching at impossible speed. I did not slow. Turrets turned toward me. I flicked one finger. Every turret on every escort ship turned to dust. The crews aboard them panicked. I kept going. I entered the main ship through the upper hull, phasing through metal and alloy. The inside was colder than before. Quieter. The energy pulsing through it was deeper, steadier. He had been training. Good. I emerged in a large, open hangar first. Rows of outriders were being grown in containment pods. They turned their heads toward me and hissed. I erased them. Their pods collapsed in a line. The alarms blared. I walked through the inner door. The guards that rushed to block me didn't even make it across the floor before they vanished. By now, his soldiers knew what I was. They didn't last long. I reached the central chamber. It was the same throne room he used before, but darker. Some of the walls had been reinforced. A broken gauntlet lay on a table to the side, the arm I had ripped the power stone from. He had not replaced it yet. Thanos stood near a large hollow display of the universe. Several points of light marked known stone locations. Only one glowed on Earth, the Tesseract. Another glowed in Asgard. One faint one hovered on Titan, but that was just a record. He turned the moment I entered. Beerus, he said. You do not tire. I don't, I said. I came to tell you something. He raised his eyebrows slightly. You came to threaten again. No, I said. I came to invite you. He paused. Invite. To Earth, I said. To fight. To finish this. He studied me. You grow impatient. I am done watching you crawl around the universe looking for scraps, I said. I destroyed your generals. I destroyed one of your stones. I moved another. You have nothing left to test. Come. He looked at the display again. You know I was attempting to rebuild my forces. I know, I said. I erased your growth before it began. He chuckled softly. You are relentless. I am efficient, I said. He turned fully to face me. Why now? Because the tribunal approved it, I said. He wants the fight to happen. I want the fight to happen. You want the fight to happen. There is no reason to delay. His expression changed slightly at the mention of the tribunal. He spoke to you. Yes, I said. He let you stay. Yes, I said. He also said I must allow you to come. Thanos smiled, slow and real this time. Then even the highest court desires it. I don't care what it desires, I said. I want to stop being bored. He nodded. You truly are destruction. I am, I said. He reached over to the table and picked up a piece of armor, his old helmet. He looked at it like he was remembering. Then he set it aside. You know I will not come alone. I don't care who you bring, I said. Bring fleets. Bring monsters. Bring what's left of your outriders. Bring your heavy craft. Bring whatever your blacksmiths have finished. It will not matter. He thought for a moment, then looked at me with genuine curiosity. Why involve your planet's defenders? You could handle this yourself in the vacuum of space. Yet you have been training them. Preparing them. Because I want to see how strong they become, I said. Because I want Earth to fight. I want to see if their growth is worth the time I spent keeping them alive. You grow attached, he said. No, I said. I grow interested. He nodded slowly. Very well. I will come to Earth. Soon, I said. Not in months. Not in weeks. Soon. I need to relocate my forge, he said. I need to refit my armor. I need to call what remains of my armies. I walked closer. You have 3 of your days. His eyes narrowed. 3. Yes, I said. After that, I come back here and destroy your ship, your world, and you. He stared at me, measuring whether I was bluffing. He knew I wasn't. 3 days is short. I know, I said. He nodded once. Then I will make it enough. I looked around the chamber. You still want the stones? Yes, he said. Always. You won't get them, I said. I might, he said. You won't, I said. He chuckled. We shall see. I tilted my head. You still plan to wipe out half of life? Yes, he said. The universe is finite. Its resources finite. Life is endless. Balancing it is mercy. I looked at him with annoyance. I already told you. I don't care about your mercy. He nodded slowly. And I told you. I do. We stared at each other for several seconds. Neither of us would move on that point. That was fine. We'd settle it in battle. He finally broke eye contact and looked at his console. I will move the fleet toward your system. I will not cloak it. I will not hide. I will come in strength. Good, I said. I'll tell Earth to be ready. He looked back. You will tell them I am coming. Yes, I said. He smirked. Do you think they will run? They will prepare, I said. Then they will fight. Then they will die. Then I will kill you. His expression tightened faintly. You are certain you can? Yes, I said. Even with more stones. Even with more armies. You are still not me. He sighed, not in frustration, but in understanding. You and I, Beerus, are alike in this, neither of us bends willingly. That is why this battle will be worthy. I didn't come here to talk about worth, I said. I came to give you your deadline. He nodded once. 3 days. Yes, I said. Then go, he said. I have much to do. I turned to leave. At the door, I paused. Thanos. Yes. If you try to bypass Earth and go straight for Asgard, I will erase your ship before it reaches its gate. He looked amused. You think I would attack Odin now? You're desperate, I said. Desperate beings make stupid moves. He smirked. Don't worry. I want to face your little planet first. Good, I said, and vanished. I reappeared over Earth, above the atmosphere, hanging for a moment in the emptiness. I could see the blue planet below, the curve of its oceans, the thin line of its air. It was small, but alive. I dropped through the sky, heat licking at my aura, and landed on Stark Tower again. Tony was waiting with a grim look. Well. He's coming, I said. Tony's shoulders dropped a little. How soon? 3 days, I said. He closed his eyes for a second. Of course. Why give us time to breathe? You have enough, I said. You knew it was coming. He nodded. Yet, we did. He tapped his wrist. Friday, connect me to everyone. Priority channel. Yes, sir. He walked toward the main console. All right, people, listen up. Big, purple, ugly, genocidal, and very motivated is on his way. We have 3 days. Fury's face appeared on the screen. 3. Tony said. Direct from Beerus' mouth. Fury rubbed his forehead. We barely have time to pull everyone in. Pull them faster, I said. Another window opened. Steve appeared, sweaty from training. He's moving. Yes, I said. Then we'll be ready, Steve said firmly. Another window, Thor, with Asgard's golden background behind him. He dares, he said angrily. Yes, I said. He comes in 3 days. Thor thumped his chest. Asgard will be there. I will bring warriors through the Bifrost. Good, I said. Doctor Strange appeared next, calm and collected. I felt a spike. Tribunal. Yes, I said. He approved the fight. Strange nodded. Then the path is set. I will prepare the sanctum. Wong spoke from behind him. We will reinforce the boundaries. Banner's face popped in as well. We doing this again? Yes, I said. You will fight. Hulk will fight. Banner grimaced but nodded. Okay. T'Challa appeared from Wakanda, the royal room behind him. We will open the shields. Wakanda will fight. I nodded once. You will all fight. And if you can't win, I will kill him myself. But you will still fight. Tony turned to me after the call ended. You really just gave the planet a 3-day war warning. Yes, I said. He ran a hand through his hair. Okay. Then we go to full mobilization. I'll work on the anti-ship cannons. Banner, Vision. Oh, right, we don't have Vision yet. Strange, shields. Cap, get your people in. I watched him work. Humans were weak, but their speed when pressured was impressive. They scrambled, called, moved, built. They did what they could. I stayed near the window, arms folded, watching the stars. I could already feel Thanos' flagship shifting course. It was subtle, but definite. He was really coming. I was satisfied. I spoke without turning. Stark? Yet. Prepare the top of this tower for combat. If he lands here, I don't want your furniture in my way. He laughed despite the tension. You got it. I looked out again. I will train you all tonight. Full force. No restraints. He blinked. Tonight. Yes, I said. He comes soon. You will either survive my training or die in the real thing. He swallowed, then nodded. All right. I'll tell them to meet on the rooftop. I could already sense Thor beginning to gather Asgardian Einherjar. I could sense Wakanda readying its energy shields. I could sense Strange raising reinforced wards over New York. Everything was moving. Good. We trained through the night. The Avengers gathered on the rooftop: Steve, Natasha, Clint, Sam, Banner, later Thor through a Bifrost flicker. Strange arrived last, cloak fluttering. Tony was in a leaner suit, more flight and less bulk. I stood in front of them. I will hit you, I said. You will block, dodge, or be destroyed. If you cannot survive a blow from me, you will die when he comes. Steve nodded. We understand. Thor grinned. At last. Banner looked nervous. I'll try not to break the building. Break it, Tony said. I can rebuild. I lifted my hand and released a small wave of ki. Not full power. Not even close. Enough to represent a careless swing from Thanos boosted by a stone. Steve raised his shield. The strike hit it and sent him flying back 10 meters. He rolled, stood again. He hits harder than last time. He will, I said. Thor swung Mjolnir, calling lightning. I stepped forward and swatted him aside. He rolled, laughed, and charged again. Strange raised shields. I broke them with a tap. Stronger, I said. He set his jaw and reshaped the spells. Hours passed. I hit them again and again. They fell again and again. But they got up. They always got up. Each time, faster. Each time, more aware. They learned to rotate, to cover, to look for openings. Even Banner, when he finally let Hulk out, managed to stay conscious after I slammed him into the roof twice. When dawn came, they were exhausted. I wasn't. I looked at them. Better. Steve wiped sweat from his forehead. You think we can win? No, I said honestly. But you won't die instantly now. He smiled faintly. I'll take that. Tony collapsed on a chair. You are the worst trainer ever. I'm the best, I said. He laughed weakly. Yet. You are. I turned back to the sky. Thanos was closer now. Not in the system yet, but on approach. He was keeping his promise. That made things easier. We had 2 days left. I smelled the metal of his ship before I saw it. Not like a mortal scent. A taste of forged intent, sharpened by purpose. The barge hung in space like a dark bruise against the stars. He had taken his time. He had welded his anger into armor. He had called to his remaining forces and told them to be ready. I had given him 3 days. He used them. I rose out of Earth's atmosphere like a thought and cut the distance to his quadrant with no care for course or stealth. My passage through void left nothing but a transient ripple. The sensors of his scouts picked me up long before their guns could swing. They fired anyway. Their weapons were clean, clinical. A waste. I didn't admire the volley. I let it pass around me as if it were rain. It melted against my aura and dimmed, useless. The first escort craft did not fare as well. I split a palm-width line through its hull and watched the plates crumble into dust. The others broke formation. Inside his flagship, men screamed and shouted. I walked into the command corridors and ignored the panic. The deck beneath my feet was engineered to withstand black hole impacts. It didn't matter. I was not impressed by engineering. I was curious about the man at its center. He waited. Thanos stood at the rear of his command platform, shoulders squared, chin set. The gauntlet at his side was empty, its socket scarred where the power stone had been torn. He wore no helmet this time. I could see the lines on his face. He had aged in the wrong way, finer, not softer. He moved like a mountain that remembered every battle. Beerus, he said. The word was even. He did not shout. He did not plead. Thanos, I said. You used up time well. My tail twitched. You still look like you're good at rudeness. You killed what I had, he said. You destroyed a stone. You put it in a hurry, I said. It bothered me. You are not fit to decide for the cosmos, he said. I decide for my stomach and my amusement, I said. This planet is my table. The rest I fix when I get bored. His brow lined. You cannot play judge forever. I don't plan to, I said. I plan to end this now. He smiled faintly. So we fight. So we fight, I agreed. He expected a duel in the center of his chamber. He expected to trade blows, to test might against will, the classical dance of titans. I had no interest in ceremony. I moved and the room blurred. My first strike was not a shout. It was a calculation, a single, open-palmed blow to his sternum delivered from an angle meant to show what his armor could not protect. The hit landed and the ship gasped. Thanos took 3 steps back and still remained standing. The power in his chest flared. The flared field came from no stone, it was discipline, training, the entire will of a conqueror concentrated in bone and sinew. I did not expect him to fall. I expected the impact to be interesting. He punched at me with a fist that could have split continents. The gauntletless hand carved air and sound. I met it with an arm and felt the shock travel through my bones like a bad joke. I smiled. You are strong, I said. Good. You are arrogant, he replied. Good. We traded without pause. He pushed. I parried. He shifted into brutal, methodical angle strikes intended to collapse ribs, to buck knees, to break holds. He fought like a general, not a gladiator. He directed harm with the economy of a man who saw collection and loss as tools. I did not break his guard with strength. I broke his composition. I moved inside the arc of his pattern and struck at what mattered, the hinge of decision, the point where a general decides whether to withdraw or to throw everything. I struck there and he staggered not from pain but because his body wanted to move on the calculus of harm and it found his options reduced. He did what he had always done. He took fewer risks and turned each into a commit. He spun the ship's grav drives, plunged its power into a focused wave aimed at me, intended to flatten my aura into static and crush my motion. I let it hit. The energy slammed into me, and at the point of impact I harnessed it. A god of destruction is not only a hand that ends, he is also a funnel for force. I took the wave, shaped it, and flung it back into his own hull. The hull buckled inward like a fist in a melon. Windows became light. One of his officers did not survive the return of his own beam. He looked at me, a small fissure opening at the corner of his mouth. Respect is its own kind of taste. He moved again, faster, angrier. He brought trajectories that would have shredded fleets. I matched them, but I did not match them in kind. I answered with silence, with absence. When I decided a thing must cease, it vanished. Not in spectacle. Not in cliché. It simply stopped being. I palmed his chest and the gauntlet socket screamed. I did not need the stone to make his body convulse. Physical organs are less than habit, habits are less than will. I put my attention into the pattern that connected his purpose to his form and I unstitched it. He buckled to his knees, then collapsed. The ship lurched, it thought itself about to lose its general. That was when he tried to bargain, not with words but with vision. He gathered his last designs and tried to reach a timeline where he succeeded. He spun the threads of probable outcomes and fed them into the hull. The deck became a lattice of future strikes, each a possibility hammered into place. He wanted to buy a victory in numbers. I considered him for half a breath. Then I pushed my palm through probability and let Hawkeye do what it did. The lattice evaporated. The models vanished. The engines behind us purred like a thing that had been told its own insignificance. He roared then, and the sound was not merely anger. It was the last of certainty burning away. He lashed out with everything left in him. For a moment the ship became a storm beams, gravity spikes, missiles, every last resource tossed at me like desperate children. I did not dodge them all. Some tapped my cloak. Some burned my robes. My hair did not ruffle. When the storm frustrated itself, silence returned. I stepped forward. I touched his face lightly with my fingertips. They met at an angle he expected to be fatal. He looked into my eyes. There was no pleading. There was only a last alignment of intent. He had believed in the inevitability of his own plan. That belief collapsed like scaffolding. You were persistent, he said. You were predictable, I replied. I closed my fist. When a god of destruction chooses to finish a being who is not made of this universe, one must account for more than bone. Thanos was more than his body. He was trajectory, memory, and future folded tight. He had a will meant to endure beyond the immediate. Annihilating that fully would have required a tribunal's sanction that I didn't want to test further. Instead I removed his remaining thread of agency. I did not shout Hawkeye. I did not cry out a cosmic phrase like the mortals make their heroes speak. I pulled at the pattern that sustained his ability to act, his capacity to force the universe to accept his will. I unmade the link. One by one the components that let him command armies and stones and destiny unraveled. His eyes did not see the unmaking as it happened. He felt the weakening like a cold. He exhaled. Finish it, he said, or perhaps it was a surrender shaped into words. He had not a plea. He had the grammar of a man who had lived by purpose. I let the last soft outline of his self-habit, a string of decisions, collapse into dust. That was the important part. His bones snapped soundlessly and lost the need to belong. His armor, his last defiance, shredded into a thing that uncotted, falling apart into motes. He was gone. The chamber fell silent, too quiet to be comfortable. Sensors died, displays froze, the ship's systems went into emergency loop. For a moment nothing moved. Then alarms tried to scream, finding no voice strong enough for what had occurred. The crew stumbled through their conditioning and the world tried to recompose itself around the absence. I straightened. I tasted the empty space Thanos left and it had a flavor like old iron. I did not gloat. I did not celebrate. Killing was work. Work has the same finality whether it is cleanup or conquest. I stepped back to the viewport and looked out at the stars. One man less did not change the universe. It altered a path, cut one line from a wider web. Some threads knitted themselves, others hung loose. The tribunal would notice the rip. The Celestials might wrinkle their brows, and perhaps Dormammu would be annoyed at a disruption in the feeding of chaos. Good. Let them be annoyed. They had time to get used to it. Back in the command room, the surviving officers moved like fish in a net. They tried to define orders. Their mouths formed sound, then closed. Some bowed, half out of fear and half out of habit, because the cosmos still respected victory as a shape even when the victor was a cat-like god who refused to be bowled by ceremony. My hand was still warm from the motion of unmaking. I looked down at my palm as if it was an instrument rather than a thing with feelings. I had no feeling of triumph. There was a small, precise satisfaction, the job was done. The entertainment curve for the planet would now accelerate in new ways because the Titan and his storyline were ended. I left the ship with no ceremony. I had not come to make speeches. I had come to cut down a problem, like thinning a branch so the fruit beneath might grow without being smothered. Around me, debris drifted. A handful of officers tried to get salvage transmissions out. I let them. In 3 hours I was back over New York. The sky was already freckled with response signatures, Bifrost activations, Sanctum rifts tightening, Wakandan shields spiraling into place. They had not known. They had been preparing for a battle that would now change shape. That was my doing. I stepped onto the roof of Stark Tower like a guest entering a kitchen after dinner and found the Avengers waiting, Steve with a dozen battle-scarred tactics in his eyes, Thor with a war smile, Tony exhausted in a way only he could be, Strange tight but composed, Banner trying to measure his own readiness, T'Challa in regal calm. They had been expecting the worst. They had trained hard. They had no idea what had just happened. You killed him, Tony said before anyone else spoke. Yes, I said. They turned slowly to me as if the words needed confirmation beyond my face. Steve blinked. You just killed Thanos. The Titan. Yes, I said. I eliminated the threat. It was noisy. Thor stepped forward and did not hug me. He looked like he might. He placed Mjolnir on the deck and kept his hands empty, measuring. You struck him down, he said. I did, I said. That changes everything, Thor said. Yes, I said. In some ways. In other ways, it does not. Strange came closer, uncertain. Magical readers in his eyes flickered like a person trying to read a bird. The time stone will adjust, he said. The cosmic scales will recalibrate. They always do, I said. They complain while they do it. Tony stared at me a long moment, then laughed nervously. So, do we debrief? Do we call the Brigadier General of the Eye of Shield? Do we notify cosmic authorities? What about the tribunal? Will he be mad? He will be interested, I said. He already was. He will come by if he feels like it. That is not your problem to campaign for. For now, you survive. They will deal with their complaints in due time. Steve's voice was low. You could have told us. No, I said. You might have tried to stop me. You might have interfered. I didn't want your struggle to be interrupted. You needed to be inclined by the threat. That's why I allowed the challenge to come. That's why I gave him a deadline. Natasha flinched, not from accusation but from the clarity. You planned it. Not planned, I said. Directed. Thor paced once, then faced me. You will stand with us when others attempt to punish this world for your choice. If others attempt to punish the world while I am here, I said, they will have me to deal with first. Tony blinked. Translation, you fight the cosmic cops if they show up on my lawn. Yes, I said. He laughed, then stopped. That was the sound of someone trying to find the boundary between relief and terror. Strange stepped forward with a hand raised. We should stabilize the multiversal echoes. The death of someone like Thanos will radiate. Artifacts, stones, and some beings will react. I know, I said. I already cut some of the strongest threads he used. The rest will fall in due time. He looked at me with honest, acute calculation. There will be a political fallout. Realms will shift. We will be tested. You always are, I said. Steve straightened, pushing himself into the posture he had learned from a different world. Then we fight now, he said. If anything comes, we answer. Good, I said. Be ready. Train harder. Don't stop even when you're tired. Make your wounds mean something. They nodded. They moved. They were organized and fast and imperfect, and I liked the fact that there was noise in their preparation. It meant I could stay interested. I went inside the tower without ceremony. I ate. The meal tasted adequate, it was exactly what I needed: texture, heat, and a lack of pretension. While I ate, I listened to the chatter of the people preparing below, Asgardians drilling, Wakandans strengthening shields, Strange and Wong reworking wards, Tony calibrating orbital defenses. It was ugly. It was competent. It would do. Later, when the sun had crawled higher and the city below had not yet collapsed into panic or exaltation, Fury called. You took him out, he said into the line. Just like that? Yes, I said. How do we tell the remnants? What do we tell the UN? What do we tell? Tell them you have the planet secure, I said. Tell them I am part of the security detail. They won't like that. They'll accept it. You killed him, Fury rasped. You killed one of the great forces. There will be consequences. There always are, I said. If they come, let them. I'm ready. He laughed, a short sound. Beerus, thanks. Or, thanks. You're welcome, I said. He didn't ask any more questions. He didn't need to. Word would travel. The tribunal would watch and decide whether my interference was tolerable in the larger ledger. The Celestials would warp their preferences. Dormammu might sniff for openings. But none of that mattered in the small scale of now. For now, Earth had two fewer hands pushing it toward ruin. The day thinned into night. The city held. The shields on Wakanda pulsed like a heartbeat, a stubborn precocity. Asgard readied its Bifrost channels to send reinforcements if necessary. The Sanctum tightened its spells. The Avengers trained and patched and prepared. They were not perfect, but they had learned. They would learn more. I lay back on the couch when the night thickened. The stars shone in patterns that had not been rearranged by the Titan in purple armor. That was pleasing. I was not sentimental about victory. I was satisfied with the shape of the work, fast, efficient, final. A god does not sleep the same way a mortal does. I let my eyelids fall and my thoughts skim the edge of consciousness. The universe had shifted. My table remained. That was enough for now. Chapter 25, After the Titan Fell. When I woke, Earth was still here. That was good. The universe hadn't decided to erase it overnight because I killed its favorite purple tyrant. That meant the tribunal had accepted the result, at least for now. That also meant I had time to eat. I sat up slowly on the couch in Stark Tower and looked out over New York. It was early. The sky was light blue, streets were already moving, and the humans below were doing something unusual for their species. They were calm. Not fully calm. There were alerts on the news, there were military mobilizations, there were energy spikes being scanned by nervous agencies. But the panic that should have been there when a warship approached didn't come. Because the warship never arrived. Because I killed Thanos before he could land. I stood and stretched my arms. My tail flicked once. The tower was quieter than usual. Tony had barely slept. His energy had been moving all night across the building, from lab to balcony to hollow table. He had spent the night confirming what I had told him. Thanos' life signature was gone. His flagship was adrift. His command structure collapsed. His beacons fell silent. He believed me. He wanted to believe the data too. I turned toward the kitchen. Pepper was there, hair tied back, already working. She looked tired, but she was smiling faintly. She knew. Tony must have told her. "Good morning," she said. "Or, whatever it is for you." "It's morning," I said. "Food." She smiled more. "I thought you'd say that." She opened a covered tray. "Korean beef, rice, miso, fruit." Tony said to make it heavy. "He said you'd used a lot of god juice." She made little air quotes. I ignored the phrase and sat. Acceptable. I began eating, slow and steady. The taste was warm, salty, clean. I was not starving. Destruction does not tire me like mortals. But I had moved more than usual yesterday. I erased something big. Eating after that was pleasant. The elevator doors opened. Tony came out, hair messy, still in the same clothes from the night before. He had dark circles under his eyes and a day top hat in his hand. "Morning, purple cat of unrestrained violence," he said. "Morning, iron cook," I said. He snorted. "That better be a compliment." "It was," I said. He dropped the data pad on the table. The screen showed a spread of star maps, shifting between sectors. So, I've cross-checked every satellite, every SWORD relay, every Wakandan deep orbit drone, and everything Fury stole from alien governments. It all says the same thing, no more Thanos signal. I told you, I said. I know, he said. But this is the kind of thing you double-check. He ran a hand through his hair. We got pings from Nova Command. They detected his ship go dark. They don't know why. They asked if we did it. He looked at me. I said kinda. Say I did it, I said. Don't include yourself. He chuckled. I like sharing the credit. You didn't kill him, I said. He pointed at me. You're right. You did. And now we have a new problem. I lowered the bowl slightly. Speak. He pulled up a new image. A list of contacts. Alien factions, Kree splinters, mercenary cartels, ravagers, even a few Asgardian informants. Words already getting around. You killed Thanos. Some people are happy. A lot are scared. Some are angry. Guess what angry people do? Attack, I said. Exactly, he said. There's at least 3 factions that only stayed in line because they were terrified of him. Now they're going to start trying to take pieces of his empire. Some of them might come this way. They can come, I said. I will erase them. He rubbed his face. I know. But I'd really like to not have alien warlords dropping in during rush hour. Then have your planet's defenses ready, I said. I can't swat every insect if I'm eating. He raised both hands. Already on it. Fury's spinning up orbital guns. Wakanda's talking about expanding their shield projection. Strange said something about layered dimensional curtains. I didn't understand half of it, but he sounded confident. His eyes narrowed. But there's one more thing. I looked at him. What? The Titan's ship, he said. It's still out there. Adrift. A big, impressive, alien dreadnought with weapons way above what this planet has. And right now, it's empty. Which means it's a prize. He leaned forward. You want to leave it just floating out there? I chewed. Swallowed. No. Good, he said. Because if we don't claim it, someone else will. He lowered his voice slightly. And I really don't want Hydra to get their hands on space cannons. Then we will take it, I said. He blinked. I will take it, I corrected. You can come if you want to look. He grinned. Oh, I want to look. Before we could move, the tower's hollow emitted a new alert. A golden circle opened in the air. Doctor Strange stepped through, cloak floating, expression tight but not panicked. Beerus, he said. We need to talk. Tony groaned. God, I hate that sentence. Strange ignored him. He turned to me. I have felt the aftermath of what you did. The death of Thanos created a hole in the flow. Not big. Not fatal. But loud. Several entities have turned their attention toward Earth. I know, I said. Arishem was already watching. The Tribunal was already watching. They accepted it. Strange shook his head. Not them. Smaller. Pests. Opportunists. World eaters without purpose. Dimensional scavengers. You killed the one they were afraid of. Now they think the feeding ground is open. Tony cursed quietly. Of course. I set the bowl down. Let them come. I will clear them. Strange hesitated. I don't doubt that. But not all of them are from our reality. Some are punching in from side branches. All-time refugees. They smelled the change and are looking for stones. We don't have many left. But they don't know that. Then I will make them know, I said. Strange nodded. Good. I will keep the mirror dimension tight around New York. I'll anchor Camartage. But we need you to finish something today. Tony tilted his head. You want him to go back to the ship? Yes, Strange said. Thanos' ship contains coordinates, maps, and in-progress portals. If we leave it out there broadcasting, we will be receiving guests. I stood. Then we go now. Tony brightened. Field trip. He pressed his wrist. Friday, suit. The armor swept over him in a fast sequence of panels. It locked with a hiss. He hovered, repulsors humming. Ready. Strange opened another portal, this one not to Camartage but to the edge of space, locked onto the signature of the disabled flagship. Go. We stepped through. The cold of space met us again. Before us floated the dead giant, Thanos' ship, engines drifting, systems on minimal power. A few auxiliary craft still clung to its hull, but none tried to fire. Most of the crew had fled or frozen when their master died. Tony whistled over the COMM. That's a whole lot of ship. I floated closer. It will not remain. He hovered beside me. You're gonna destroy it. Yes, I said. It is his. I don't want it used by idiots. You can take what you want first. He nodded. All right. Give me 5 minutes to copy the computer core. I watched him fly toward one of the access hatches, hack it open with a blade of light, and disappear inside. I could have done it faster, but he liked doing things with his hands. It made him feel useful. That was fine. While I waited, I extended my senses outward. I wanted to know who was looking. I found them almost immediately. 4 small ships, far out, barely within sensor range. Scavenger rigs. Not Ravagers. Not Nova. Not Kree. Independence. Pirates. Watching. Waiting to see if the big ship would be claimed, if the god would leave. If he left, they would pounce. I looked at them across space. They spun away immediately. I smirked. Mortals were quick to learn. Tony's voice came back over the line. Got it. Everything. Coordinates, logs, schematics, comms history. Even the ship blueprints. I can reverse engineer a bunch of stuff out of this. Good, I said. Leave. He opened his faceplate. You want to blow it now? Yes, I said. He backed away, suit flaring. Okay. Boom away. I lifted my hand, palm outward, fingers loose. I looked at the ship once, not with sentiment, not with respect, but as an item that had served its purpose. It was a vessel for a threat. The threat was gone. The vessel did not need to remain. Hawkeye. The energy rolled over the flagship like a tide. It did not explode. It did not break. It disintegrated. Entire hangars vanished. Weapon banks became particles. Reinforced compartments collapsed in slow motion. Within seconds, the entire structure was dust, then less than dust, then nothing. Tony watched, awed despite himself. I will never get used to that. You don't need to, I said. We returned to Earth through Strange's still open portal. The tower reformed around us. The city's sounds rushed back. Tony removed his helmet and set it on the table. Ship's gone, he said to no one in particular. Can't be looted. Can't be repurposed. He looked at me. You know this makes you even more of a target, right? You didn't just kill Thanos. You cleaned up his toys. I know, I said. Let them try. Strange folded his hands. They will. He glanced out the window. You should know, Odin felt it too. He sent a raven to Camartage. He wants to speak with you. I nodded. I'll go. Tony raised his hand. Before you vanish again, one question. You killed him fast. Why? I looked at him. Because I saw enough. I wanted it over. He was never going to stop. His plan would never be done. I removed the source. Tony thought about it, then nodded slowly. Fair. He walked away to make his calls. Strange stepped back through his portal. I left again. Asgard met me with golden light and guarded doors. The Bifrost was active. Heimdall looked more focused than usual. He fell, Heimdall said quietly. Yes, I said. He fell. Thanos' thread has ended, Heimdall said. Many rejoice. Some fear. He gestured toward the palace. The Alfather waits. I crossed the bridge. Asgard's hall was busy. Warriors were in formation. Valkyries stood ready. They had been fully expecting Thanos to force an arrival through space or through stolen magic. I had cut the event short. Odin sat on the throne. Thor stood beside him, armored and clearly itching for a battle he no longer had. Thor walked down to meet me. You finished him without us. Yes, I said. He laughed, but there was a thin frustration to it. You do not share. He was half joking, half honest. You were too slow, I said. He was ready. I was closer. I acted. Odin nodded approvingly. Thanos is gone. That is good. His shadow has stretched across the 9 realms for too long. He will not return, I said. Odin's face remained thoughtful. His death will not go unnoticed. You understand this? Yes, I said. I am dealing with the ones who notice. Odin leaned forward. Did the tribunal respond? Yes, I said. He told me to allow the fight. I did. I ended it. Did he object to you ending it so quickly? Odin asked. No, I said. He accepted it. He knows I will not destroy another stone without reason. He knows I will not erase your birthing sites. We have an understanding. Odin relaxed a fraction. Good. Thor crossed his arms. So this is over. No, I said. It never ends. Thanos gathered power. When you remove a gatherer, others try to gather. You must be ready. Thor nodded firmly. Then Asgard stands with Earth. That's why I came, I said. Keep the Bifrost open. If scavengers, traders, or celestial pets come, I want your arrival immediate. Odin lifted Gungnir. You will have it. I turned to leave. Thor called after me. Beerus. I looked over my shoulder. What? He grinned. Next time, let me swing. I smirked slightly. If you can keep up. He laughed. I left Asgard and returned to Earth again. This time I didn't go to the tower. I went to Wakanda. The African sky was clear. The dome shimmered over the city. Dorm Mileage trained in formation. Shuri worked on something in the lab. T'Challa met me on the platform as I landed. Lord Beerus, he said respectfully. We heard. Yes, I said. You prepared for a war that did not come. He smiled faintly. We prefer that to a war we did not prepare for. Good answer, I said. He walked beside me through the courtyard. We are receiving transmissions from spacefaring nations. They are, unsettled. Some praise you. Some ask if Earth has a weapon. Some threaten to come and see. They can come, I said. I will erase them. He nodded. We will stand ready. I looked around at the city. Your realm is calm. It is, he said. Our people trust that our walls will hold. They will, I said. But if something breaks through, call me. We will, T'Challa said. I left Wakanda and finally returned to Stark Tower. Tony was waiting with 3 hollow windows open. Fury in one. Captain Marvel Danvers in another. And the third, a Nova Corps High Commander, trying to look composed. Fury spoke first. So. Your cat god killed the Mad Titan. We owe him. We'd also like to not be invaded. You won't, I said. The Nova Commander nodded stiffly. Lord Beerus. The Nova Corps thanks you for eliminating the most persistent threat to our sector. We will send a token of appreciation. I don't need it, I said. Use your resources to protect your own world. She hesitated. There is one more matter. Without Thanos, several Kree militant sects may move. I will erase them if they come here, I said. She nodded. Understood. The line cut. Danvers crossed her arms. You didn't need me. No, I said. But you can help patrol. Clean up small threats. Keep space clear. She smirked. So I'm relegated to crowd control. You're good at it, I said. She actually laughed. Fine. I'll monitor the borders. If any warlords try to slide in, I'll ping you. Do that, I said. The call ended. Tony powered down the displays. He looked at me. So. Thanos is dead. The big cosmic judge is cool with it. The space cops are relieved. The Kree might act up. We have 3 different alien factions watching us. And Earth is intact. Yes, I said. He exhaled. That's not a bad Tuesday. It's not, I said. I sat again. I was not bored.